Yeah, Impossible Burger, yeah.
Like that,
So
but
it's good though.
Y'all
Shit,
I'm about to
it's
try it out.
Yeah,
Are they reasonable price? You know, I'm kind of cheap.
Yeah. Get the whole pack,
just
man.
get the pack.
Yeah, I say get the whole pack.
How much is the whole pack?
Go to Giant Eagle.
You know,
and then
Freedom
go to
a
the
baller,
Burger.
y'all.
Go to shit.
Hit him up. Hit up Freedom. Hit up.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you to somebody.
he's single now too, y'all.
Out here, just put him out there.
Take my money and get some dick while you doing it.
That's a good podcast right here.
Ladies, you heard them. You heard them.
You heard them. I'll let you know who you heard. Pull up at the wrong crib.
I'm done.
I'm done, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Lavish Journey podcast. It's your host, Jay Gaze, over here today with my brother, Freedom.
What up, y'all? How you feeling? How you living?
Hey, we got hella special guests here once again. We have Sade over here. Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Hey, we got our brother Devontae back for a second time. Hey. We have a new guest on here, our brother Josh.
That's my dog. Hey, that's my dog.
Shout out to Nyla as always.
Shout out to
Hey,
the couch cushion.
for sure.
She's holding it down over there.
Hey, she do be holding it down over there though, helping us
She's
out
so
for real.
cute. I'm gonna show y'all her on my Facebook.
So, my brother, what's the word of the day?
The word of the day
Yes,
is
sir.
manifest. So, how does that resonate with you? Manifest.
What are we manifesting?
All right, so start off with that then.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but
What would you
we
like to
manifest
manifest
everything.
into?
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Everything in your life, you manifest it to yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly. Your parents. We don't
How do
like
you
to hear
go?
that, but
The power of your words and thoughts.
But do
feel
you
me?
think you have control over what manifests, or do you think that the outside world is more dominant in that?
it depends on your state of mind.
And if you allow it to be.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm.
That's true. It's a good way. Well, so which type of person are you? Are you a person that lets others influence them? Not in a negative way.
No. I'd say both. Like, I am heavily influenced by other environment. Like, the environment I'm in typically influences my lifestyle at any given time. But then also, I'm strong enough mentally to be within an environment and change what I see from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Different
by
perspective.
Yeah.
That's a good way.
But, you know, if in a perfect world, I would be controlling all of it like a puppet master, like an alchemist. That's the goal.
I'm about to say alchemy.
Yeah, that's
you have the
goal.
ability
Yeah,
to
the
do
goal
it.
is
Yeah,
that, to be like, oh,
yeah. Switch
change
everything to
that.
gold. Like, oh, that's a little too
That's a good way
silvery
to-
for
that's
me.
a good way to put it. What about you?
Like she said, I mean, you're influenced by everything around you, but for me personally, it's if it's gonna benefit me or not, you know, because the world is telling me you have to stay in the house and be afraid, but
Especially now.
especially now, but me myself, this is a perfect time for me to manifest, you know, new opportunities, delving into my creativity, you know, my mindset, create new routines. So I'm not going to let what others tell me in that factor, you know, hinder me in any way. It's like, nah, I could still be fruitful and live. You feel me?
Yeah. I feel like manifestation, so my actions on the environment around me is what how I feel about my actions is what causes the manifestation. So
that's true.
if I get in an argument with somebody, what I was arguing about is what's going to manifest in my life. So if I was arguing from a point of selfishness, or if I was arguing from a point of jealousy, that's going to manifest in my life and come back on me. Versus if I argue from a point of trying to help someone, or if I'm arguing from a point of trying to get the best for myself, that would manifest in my life. So I feel like it is all about, like you said, a person's mindset. You know what I mean? Like, if your mindset is in the wrong spot, then what's going to show in your life is the wrong spot. And you'll always be in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it
Positive
is.
thinking leads to positive outcomes. So exactly what you said on that.
They
you know?
said very true. Everybody's snapping to what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really true.
Here we go. What about you, Josh, personally?
It's positive, man. Positive thinking. Always filling my cup and Trying to just always have that positivity. In
Yeah.
You know, like,
That filling my cup. Boy.
Yeah.
My cup.
Yeah.
just that positive energy, that sunshine. You know.
Yeah.
What about you, Justin?
Sorry, y'all started working on the live, but honestly, no, manifestation, it goes both ways. You know what I mean? It's all about what you want out of life. Like early, I mean, just before the show, me and Sade was talking about manifestation. She's like, you know, fortunately, sometimes people manifest bad things in life too. Like, you know, oh, this gonna happen. Oh, this might happen. Some shit like that. You know what I mean? You gotta look at the positive in it. So manifestation could go both ways, and it's up to you to make that decision what you want to manifest.
How often do you see your manifestations coming into your reality?
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you open your mouth, like I always to take it back to I was raised religious, but I'm not now. So in the beginning was the word, and the word was God. I apply that to my life for the most part. Like what I speak comes true.
Yeah.
So whether so I have to now what I'm working on is how I talk about myself. So I instead of like, oh, I don't look good today, or just I try to change it.
Inner speak.
Yeah, so that's really trying to change how I speak about myself because that's the truth. So if I feel fat, I'm fat.
Yeah.
If I feel fit, I'm fit. Like so, how you feel, what you speak, it all ties together to create your reality. And writing it down is very powerful too.
Yeah.
So your perception plays a big factor in part of your manifestations. Yeah. How about you all?
Also, what others feel about you is what you think. So we all think from another point of view, like, oh, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do this to myself, or I'm gonna like work on this, just because nobody would ever admit it. But we're all really doing that type of stuff for others around us because you wouldn't dress nice if there's nobody to look at it. You know what I mean? So the reason that people go through all of that is, hold on, I just lost my train of thought. Maybe we smoked a little bit too much before.
You said the way people go through all that is because you're about to explain why people go through that, though. I was listening. I was in tune.
I was too.
Yeah. What was my original point?
Others. I forgot the original point. You said that basically we do the things we do for others. We have to put in the other people's perspective too.
How others view you is a part of your manifestation. Yeah, you do what you're doing.
But I feel like also your inner, what you feel about you is what those people see. But we think that we can affect how that others see us. We really can't. What's going on the inside that you're hiding or that you think that you're trying to work against. Say a person feels they're too thin or they're too big or they're too tall or whatever their thing is. They're going outside of their way internally to hide that. Other people see it as awkwardness. That's what we call that. What is awkward? Awkward is somebody not being
secure,
right.
Yeah.
When really it's just they're not lined up with their interior.
I like that. They're not lined up with their interior.
Yeah.
So you gotta be comfortable in your own skin is what you're trying to say.
And those are the people who succeed in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
That's
Those
true.
people who have just said, if you're gonna say it, you're gonna say it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Whatever you say about me, you're gonna say about me.
Facts.
Yeah.
And that's
how you
what.
feel is not my problem.
Exactly. And then then people turn around. I love that guy. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, because you don't give a fuck.
Yeah. You know.
But he gives zero fucks. You know, I think we all should like get on that level and not giving a fuck, for real. You know what I mean? Although I can say I don't give a fuck, sometimes I still do give a fuck. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's like impossible just to not give zero fucks, but I'm getting close enough to get to, you know, not zero, at least 10% probably.
Yeah, I have evolved. I have gotten better.
I've gotten way better with that.
Yeah.
As you get older, it gets easier.
Yeah, you're living authentically.
How do you get better, for instance, bro? Like, what's the way you got better?
Really just... I think style for me was one of my first outlets with not giving a fuck because I've always dressed different compared to most people, and then just not caring how you view me. You might think, oh, your jeans too tight or that shirt looks dumb as fuck, but it's like I don't give a fuck. You know, like I'm wearing it. Yeah, it's my shirt. I put it on. I bought this.
Right.
You feel me? You know, making my hair orange. I think I try to stand out as much as possible. Especially with my family, because they're social norms, you know, they're very straight line, narrow Christians. We do stuff like this. So I don't want to fit in your box. I push myself to be outside the box, but to create my own, you know, and let others feel comfortable with that. Like, it's okay to express who you are, how you are.
That's a manifestation in your reality.
Yeah.
From your parents.
Yeah. From parents.
There you go.
You know, so.
There.
That's good.
Yeah.
Zaya always been into fashion. Remember since high school, this guy was always into that fashion.
Yeah,
fashion
man.
was always different, man.
Yeah, man.
It's gotten much more sense, dude.
Yeah.
It's just slowly. Yeah, it's slowly. Just slowly.
Freedom Fashion coming soon.
Oh, freedom fashion. You feel me? Freedom fashion.
I
You
would love
feel
to model the plus size version of fashion.
Oh, it's gonna be all of it. Well,
Manifest.
come on with it. If y'all want to put money in my pocket
Because
to see it
I'm
come
the
true.
same way.
I give you a few dollars. Shit, how you gonna be? I throw down a few dollars.
My cash app is.
No, I definitely buy some shirts, and we'll push that motherfucker on here too, bro.
All
We can push that.
the Lavish Journey shirts is coming soon, and they gonna be fire. Like not no regulars. This is something I want people to wear. Little slogans on it, little quotes on there. Like I want people to wear them, and be like, oh, it's a positive message on it, but this shit is fashionable.
Yeah.
You know,
That says
like,
Freedom the
manifestation.
designer.
Yeah.
Lavish Journey on the back.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's the guy with the ideas with all the fashion and everything. So,
Oh, it's right here. It's right on here. I got it all.
Pretty
You
dope.
feel me?
you know, I got into fashion, I think, like in 2015. You know, I was always into it, but I think I decided to go a whole nother route. I'll start wearing suits and shit to class. You know, that's what I want to do. And people, you know what? People actually talk to me a lot more because of that. Like, hey, how you doing? What do you do? Like, I'm just a nigga that wears a suit. You know, after I did that, I don't know, it just showed like, okay, clothes is dope.
Yeah.
This nigga said I'm just a nigga.
This
So for
nigga is in a
real,
suit.
I was just walking around campus. Hey, everybody, just put a suit on. People was like, why you wear a suit? Just want to wear a suit today.
You take on the persona of your clothing when people don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if somebody
It's-
sees another human being out there and you're wearing whatever you're wearing,
Yeah.
they're going to take that persona. And I think other people with such really eccentric styles, specifically my mother is one of them. She has
Yeah.
a very Afrocentric style for
Yeah.
somebody that's walking around in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So when people see her, she's always takes it to the heart. Like, oh, they looked at me different. Well, you are different. They're
Yeah.
judging you by your clothing
Yeah.
until they know you. Now, if they continue the judgment afterwards, they're in the wrong.
That's their problem at that
Exactly.
point. But they don't resonate with you.
Yeah.
Not everybody's meant to vibe with you at that point.
I can pick people out sometimes. You're in
I
a
do
crowd, you're
think
like,
you
that
can
person would vibe with me.
Tell
Yeah, you
a
can.
lot about a person by their style. You can tell a lot. I feel like I can judge, not in a bad way. I can really judge where that person's state of mind is at, how free they are, how secure they are. It says a lot, and insecure, because you can take a person that's half naked as being secure, but 9 times out of 10 it's an insecure.
They're insecure.
Mhm.
So you can kind of judge.
Half naked people. That's
That's
true.
an invisibility complex. Almost.
Yeah.
Shout out to the half naked photos out there.
The nudie booties.
You know, I'm starting to love the new social media. I just want to fuck with
Hey,
y'all.
no, it has advanced.
Hey,
There's
you
a
know,
lot of
Joe
news
Rogan
that's getting
actually
put up now.
mentioned how that there's almost a new creature, a new human being being created. How there could be a girl on Instagram who has millions of people paying, showing up, liking, doing all the things, just because she turns and puts her butt in the screen.
Yeah.
They have
Oh,
She
yeah.
don't have to say nothing, not her
Nothing.
personality, what's her name, what's her, like any of that
They
information.
make hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars
Money.
a year.
It's a new
Money.
thing.
OnlyFans accounts
Yeah.
have been blowing the fuck up. Like,
So what is? You know what that is exactly?
yeah, I know a
so
bunch
is that
of people
like they
who know
own?
who do it. Yeah, so it's like their own. It's like a webcam show, but
Right.
you have to pay to see their videos. So they'll already have the content uploaded, but you know you got to pay to see
Like
it.
a subscription or
Yeah,
something.
you gotta
Okay.
subscribe to their channel. So they'll have videos, photos, whatever, and then you just get to see them if you pay for
And
it.
it's
So
almost like Netflix, $9.99
Yeah.
a month.
yeah,
If you get 50
that's
people
scary.
playing
yeah,
$10 a
you
month.
feel me? Like I'm not about to do
I
all
got a
that.
question. I got a question for
Yeah,
everybody.
what's yours?
Okay.
Like,
I
I want
help.
to see my arm.
got
Hey,
a
foot
question.
fetish
Go
people,
for it.
you feel me? Hey,
How
you can
long
go.
do you think TV is going to last?
Oh, not very long.
I think the TV
I think it's over now.
is going to last, like the actual TV,
Like,
but like
actual
television?
production,
Cable?
Spectrum TV,
Cable.
cable,
Yeah.
65.
Oh, that's out of here.
that's out of here. It's gone.
It's already
Everything's
gone,
it's
yeah.
already gone. So we already on our phones online.
Yeah, something's happening with TVs too
Yeah.
because the last 5 months they have been giving them away. So I'm like, Mom, they're going to create something. Remember when they had those big the fat back TVs,
Mhm.
and you remember how they start weeding them out, giving them away, then the flat screen came out.
Hmm.
That's happening now. Like if you go to Walmart, you can get a 65-inch TV for like $300
It's because display
Something's coming.
technology,
out.
display technology in itself is able to develop and get smaller. So what happens is newer LED televisions are actually just a strip. It's like a cutout strip that they almost grow. Organic LED, they literally almost grow it to a point. So older technology that we used to use, like LCD, you know, with liquid crystal, is gotten so easy and cheap to produce that they can produce huge panels for nothing. And then now they add in shipping costs and boxing and all that stuff. It comes down to a price where they can lower it and lower it and lower
Yeah,
it.
it's cheap. I was like, look at them giving these TVs away.
Yeah.
But like he said, I feel like TV is gonna be a thing of the past, and it's nothing on there now. You know, we're evolving. The state of mind is
more so
evolving.
watch videos. We're more so personable. That's why like this lockdown, it's kind of like this is how we communicate now. This is how we get news. Like nobody watches the news unless they're 85.
Yeah.
Like we literally get news off of line.
Social media.
Yeah,
Social media is our news
Yeah.
I
outlet
think
now.
the big difference
Yeah.
is programming. We
Yeah.
don't
Oh.
program our television anymore.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
from now on,
You
we
pick what you
we
want.
choose what we
Yeah,
want.
Yeah.
exactly.
So
No,
There you
yeah,
go.
instead of flipping through a
If I
channel.
want to learn
Yeah.
news about Israel,
That's what
I go and look for news about Israel.
Yeah.
I don't go and hear the news guy tell me what I should know.
Yeah.
You know, and
I
that's why
think
people
we're
are
now
becoming
seeing-
more woke.
Yeah, because now we're knowledge seeking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're knowledge seeking towards
Yeah.
what we want to see. No more just, hey, see this. I mean, right now we are kind of brainwashed with what's going on, obviously, because it shows they still can run this shit. The media production. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day,
Propaganda, huge factor.
But is that a problem, and is that a problem at the same time? Because when we were flipping through the channels back in the day, they
Yeah.
were showing us what we needed to see rather than us picking it. Like, what if you're picking the wrong stuff? So some
That's
people,
that's
some
majority
people, some
of
people are
society
like, well,
is, yeah.
that's-
Especially
It
on
makes sense.
Instagram, because a lot of
like-
people are shooting info from the news and putting it on Instagram, and it's still
It's
being
still-
spread
Okay.
out as
Fake
a fear.
news.
It's fake news as a
Yeah.
mechanism. So
Fake news.
we have to
So-
understand.
Yeah.
so big media always wins. Is what y'all trying to say?
Well, it's
The big-
understand just not to feed into it. You know,
Yeah.
at every aspect, you can know about it, but then when every day you're posting it, you know, you're becoming an issue. You're
Right.
becoming a programmer because you're putting out the fear. You're putting out the coronavirus. You feel me? People doing that every day. You know,
That's
3, 4, 5 times. You know, it's
Yeah.
manifesting. You know, you're manifesting fear. You're a part of the news outlets issue.
Fear-mongering.
But yeah, you're helping them.
And
So,
I agree with
yeah.
you on that. I agree because I haven't shared any of that shit.
I haven't
I
shared
know people
nothing of it.
who've been saying, "Oh, fuck that," but yet they sharing a post every hour.
Every
about
hour.
it. It's like,
Every
how are you gonna combat that? It's like,
that's rough. That's really rough. I think there are news outlets that weren't available to us before with access to the internet. So like RT or Vice News. These are news outlets that somebody that has YouTube can get a hold of and be able to look up on things overseas that they had no
idea.
idea in the past is going on.
Yeah.
And they got videos talking about like, you know, a lot of conflicts in Africa, and you're like, there's conflicts in Africa? Like, most, like, you aren't going to watch Channel 8 and hear about these
No,
different
no.
things that are going on around the world.
oh, nothing that's going on around
They
the
don't
world
promote
with pedophilia, with our country, with the United States. You know, with sex trafficking, with
Hollywood.
children,
So
Hollywood.
serious.
You know, like America is a huge issue when it comes to everyday society. You know,
Hollywood.
everything is
Yeah.
an issue. You know, but we just see the news because it's programmed into us. You know, we grew up with it, but thankfully we just like, man, fuck that news. I'm bored, man. I ain't watching that all day.
hey, we did just kind of just say fuck.
Yeah.
Our parents love the news though.
Man.
Oh man!
Hey, our
Everybody
parents
loves
love the news. I don't like it.
every
Every
10
They
o'clock.
gotta change channel.
Yeah, change the channel, like please. 8:00 every day at 8. We gotta watch
It's
this.
gonna be live at 5.
They love the
Two
news.
men
They
jumped down
do.
on St.
There
Clair.
goes Dick Goddard.
But did you know a funny fact about news is all news around the world is normally prompted the same.
Mhm.
So the same news
This- right, same
program
script.
that you get here is the same one that they get in Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
And also, every news is also a business.
Oh, for
So
sure.
you're not just getting what happened. You're getting the interesting things that will catch your attention.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that they get ratings.
Mhm.
So the things that might be positive that are news, you're not going to hear
Nah.
because that's not interesting.
Yeah.
And they have all these little psych affecting
Yep.
like things at the beginning, like all those twisting rings and blasts of like color and
And it
stuff
get
that you
louder.
see. That's subconscious attempts to grab your subconscious
Yep.
attention and cause you to focus in. So when they pop on the screen and go today
Yeah.
at 11,
You like,
You're like,
you're
what's going on at 11?
already-
Shit.
But most people don't know that there's a small bit of mind control at the beginning of every news broadcast.
Yeah.
Well, I think I started us off. Hey, everybody, you got to catch that attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
bring them
Yeah,
in.
you gotta
Yeah.
get them.
that just show you the power of the mind. Everything is the mind. Once somebody has the power over your mind, they control you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it. To show you everything is about your mind power, really.
The subconscious mind leads the conscious.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get to somebody's subconscious by belief,
Subconscious mind is everything.
people believe the news. They don't just listen to the news.
They'll fight over
so
it.
when they hear it,
Yeah, my
they're
grandparents
like,
were. The news said it's real, so it's real. Like
The news said it's true.
And people who do die by it, you can look it up on YouTube and Google now. Like, we're in the age of Aquarius. Info is everywhere. You know, you could delve deep. A lot of these issues are staged.
Right.
You know, a lot of them have actors who they will set a scene up, you know, just to play it out. And then you can look up these actors or look up behind the scenes how they filmed it, you know. So
that just happened recently with how beaches in Florida are packed. And they said the same thing about, it was another state, but it was the same picture. So I'm like, the same people was in Florida and in California at the beach. That's some shit.
This lady was showing how they was photoshopped
Yeah,
in. People, dude leg was cut off, but then his flip flop is on the ground. Like, so where his foot at? You feel me? They fucking up.
So they really weren't at the beach, is what y'all saying?
No,
Well, it's just they were there,
the beach
but
they
it
used for that.
say like if we in Cleveland, Cleveland beach, they take a picture of us. We in Florida now though.
Right,
you know, it's two newscasters showing us. They showing us in Cleveland and in Florida. So it's like, well, how we at both of these states? You feel me? How we both of these beaches?
But then it go back also to what he said. It's not always they're trying to program us. It's
control.
It's a business, like he said. Like their job is to get you to be hooked in and to watch. So if fear is what's selling right now,
there you go.
I am going to be all up in it. Hi, my name is Sade. 25 people got shot on St. Clair. Like, cause I get raped tomorrow.
And they know you are too.
People in the screen
let's see
what
time. Sade coming on at 7 o'clock. Sade come on at night. She gonna let us know what's going on. Do that again. What you say? Do that again. Hello, my name is Sade.
Hello, my name is Sade, and 25 people were just shot on St. Clair Avenue.
And they tune in.
They gonna tune in at 9. We have the exclusive.
Like,
Channel 19
girl,
could never.
I told you.
I told you it was dangerous on St. Clair.
I was down there last week.
And then they are like taught, like they find those people on purpose. It's not a coincidence. Like he says, a business. So you're gonna seek out a person. That's why people always like, why they always pick that person to go talk to? Because it's news.
It's the news.
Interesting.
You gotta be interested. They're not gonna come talk to somebody no ain't gonna say too much.
The guy on the news. Well, it was dramatic. A lot of things happened. You know, I could explain if you like. Like we'll get somebody else.
Yeah, they'll.
Yeah, you need that real hype
Get
person
somebody
like
Hey man,
coming
the
in.
more views, the more money.
There you go. That's
how it
pretty
works.
much it. It's all about money. Even this, like the lockdown situation. Yeah, reopen. Why? Because the economy is gonna crash. So yeah, they don't care if it's gonna be another round. Like, we need money.
How y'all feel about this reopening of the economy? How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's a bad decision.
I feel like I'm gonna let y'all go out and have fun and die off, and then I'll come out after.
Okay. How do you feel about it? I'm gonna get everybody's answer.
I feel like, first of all, a virus is something that is not like dirt. You can't just hit you. Whoop, oh my God, the dirt's gone, and there you go. It's all from the society. It's wiped clean.
Right.
Like, and it's not a storm. It's not going to come in, hit us, and we go, oh wow, that was a crazy storm. Let's get on with our lives.
Right.
A virus is here and it's here to stay. Influenza is a virus.
Exactly.
We never got rid of influenza. We still get the flu all the time. And corona seems to be very contagious, or not contagious, but it mutates a lot. So there's a lot of different versions of corona.
Please
so
listen to
corona
me.
is not brand new. We've known
SARS,
of corona
H1N1.
is SARS. Yeah. So this is SARS too. So the thing about it is, it's gonna multiply no matter what we try to do, unless there's a vaccine. So if everybody stayed in the house, we would be staying in the house until there's a vaccine. There's gonna be no way that it's just gonna blow away. And we got the most cases out the way, and it's going to go down. The reason it went down is because everybody went in the house. When everybody comes out the house, those numbers are going to go beep, 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 right back up. And it's like, oh, shoot, shut it back down. You know what I mean? And we just read on Facebook, don't quote me on this because I did see it on Facebook, that China had another resurgence of another strain of coronavirus. So they're re-shutting back down.
Yep.
You think that ain't gonna happen in America if the first one came?
Yeah, it is.
So what my question is no, we're not gonna be able to reopen, and if we do, it's world of trouble. And I mean, you can't really listen to Trump because he's listening to different experts from and different states are deciding what they want to do on their own terms. So
I feel like DeWine is doing really good.
Who?
Our governor.
Mm-hmm.
He, like, to the point to where they're modeling things after him. Like, the last little conference he had, you can tell he was salty, like, because Trump was like, well, everybody got to open up. And you could tell he was all somber, like, well, we're going to do a soft opening. Like, 2 people going to be at the restaurant. But he was, you could tell he was like, this is stupid. But he, to me, has his head on straight with it. Stay at home. But the difference between now and, like, the Spanish flu, which was almost like 102 years ago. Mm-hmm. So the same thing. That lasted for 2 years. 50 million people died. So why do they think after 2 months
it's just going
that we just go open up and everybody is like, this has happened before. Like he said, there's just different versions of the virus and they mutate. Like even now, within this couple of months, they have found different strands of it that they still don't even know how to figure it out yet. Yeah. And then like a lot of us need to stop being so woke because like it's real. Mm-hmm. Like I know personally 4 people that I know passed away, and what's crazy is the eldest person lived. He's 87 and he's fine. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So it's like, and the last person I know that passed away was 32. She called it from a patient, relatively healthy. So it's like you gotta just take care of yourself like you do any flu. Just stay, like, if you knew that people had the flu, you gonna stay home. Like, I ain't coming over your house, Sheila, to clear up. It's just common sense to me. Mm-hmm. But they're giving you free will because at the same time, population control is a thing. Yep. So if you want to take your stupid butt out there and have a party, like somebody just got busted from having 100 people in an Airbnb in Ohio City. They did this yesterday. Why is it 100 people?
Because people need it. You forget. Like, think about it. I'm a dancer. I go out 3 to 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. Okay, they cut me off.
They cut me off. I'm like,
struggling. Like, so I've been good. I haven't gone to no parties. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, but, like the people that was killing themselves. Like several people has come up that committed suicide because of this lockdown type of thing. Mm-hmm. But like I get it because I was performing and rehearsing every day, and then all of a sudden they're like, nope. So I get it, because at first I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
You're looking lost.
It emotionally hurts you, man. Like, God damn it, you them plans is like, pause, no, not yet, nigga.
Right,
like,
no, I'm like, loud concert, I was hurt. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm stuck now. October.
Yeah, but I think that the corona, the best thing we can do, it takes 18 months to come up with a vaccine. So, well, at the minimum,
taking that vaccine?
I mean, if we are jamming towards it, like if everything goes right and everything falls in place the way it's supposed to, 18 months. And that's not normally the case. So as soon as we can get one, I think that's when we're going to get to the point where we got a herd immunity and we have multiple people who have this vaccine taken and they are not immune but have stronger immunity towards this virus. That's basically what it is. So that it doesn't spread so wildfire, and nothing before that is going to fix it. So either you find a way to move in your life and be healthy, wear a mask, wear your gloves, whatever holds you down, and that's the best we can do right now, because even if you get it right now, you got it, you cough it, you go to the hospital, they're going to be like, all right, head home. Yeah. They can't do anything.
They can't do nothing for you.
Unless you're literally like, then they're going to pull you in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the one girl was here and said that people come in sick, but they say unless it's serious respiratory problems,
it's just like
they have to send you out. Yeah,
it's like the flu. When you go to the flu, you're not hospitalized. They give you Tamiflu because they created something to cure it. Yeah. And then they send you home and tell you to stay away from people.
I did hear that we found a substance of some sorts that hinders the replication of it in the bloodstream. So it's a newer drug, but I don't know if it's getting released or anything like that. So don't quote me on that one. But if you want to look it up, I bet you can find something on something like that.
I don't know. How you feel about it, bro?
I'm just not getting no vaccine until I'm just on the deathbed. Like, hey, I'm on my way out. Give me something.
Your last
yeah,
moments.
Be like,
it had to be my last few fucking moments.
All right, I guess now.
I'm gonna live my everyday day to day because I'm not doing too much. This is the most interaction I'm doing with the most people who I don't see on a day to day is this. You feel me? But even then, we're being responsible. She just handed me a wipe to wipe my laptop down. You feel me? I'm gonna take my elderberry, my echinacea, my sea moss every day. I got my herbs that's gonna help me out in abundance. You feel me? You feel me? Just keep your immune system strong. If you know it's a party, just say, hey, I'm gonna skip this one. You feel me? Like you could do other shit. You know?
Yeah, like it's more than 10 people. Like they said 10 people, no more.
Yeah, and you could. A party is 5 people. You feel me? 2-3 people you could kick it. So. 10, we in this bitch.
Right.
It's a party for real.
See, on my end, when it comes to it, man, I'm aware of it and I'm taking precautions, but I'm not even thinking about it. I still do Uber every single day. I'm with different people all day, times of the day. I got God with me. I feel like this is a spiritual battle right now. A lot of people are living in fear. And I have God and I'm connected to the spirit. I'm pretty sure everybody has their own beliefs and everything, you know what I mean? And I'm cool. I'm just floating.
Hey, so you manifesting health for
yourself.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, for real.
Because you can make yourself sick. And that was my battle. That was my battle with the whole thing. I saw a bunch of heavily religious people stressed out. I'm like, wait, don't God got this? Like, it was confusing to me. I'm like, well, just last week, God had you covered, but now you run and you scared. Like, which one is it?
You know why? Because the news the news show. My grandparents was watching CNN and they show like 4 pastors who died from it. So it puts the fear back into people, into religious people. Like, oh, well, pastors is dying. God, I don't want no pastor. He the head. So who am I?
But that's
deep, bro.
You feel me? So
I never heard. That's on the news.
Yeah, on CNN.
But then it's like, where's Ernest Angley? He can heal him, right?
Since Pastor died, I don't know. So they lose hope. What you trying to say?
Yeah, because it puts fear back into you.
Fear, and then a lot of people kind of worship the pastor, and not really the religion.
I see. That's what I was getting to. Right? Okay, you felt it. Okay. I was getting to that. I was like, so they're worshiping the pastor more.
A lot of people don't have a very good understanding of their own religion.
Preach.
So
keep it going.
I think that what is needed in the situation with coronavirus versus religious belief is. I do believe that religious belief could affect your susceptibility to the disease, maybe. But I'm not going to attack anyone's beliefs versus mine or anything like, you know what I mean? But whoever you believe in, let's just hope they got you.
Boom.
I mean, in the case 9 times out of 10, if you're going to get it and you're going to get sick or you're going to live, it's going to happen. Yeah. And even if you do survive this 2 years and the vaccine comes out, you might still get it.
Exactly.
Just like you got
it's never going anywhere.
If you get it, you're going to get it.
If
you die, you die. It was meant to happen.
Right just not now. Yeah.
Because nobody can help you.
Yeah.
The hospital is up to his throat in people.
Yeah. So, like, next year, he might be fine.
You know, Devontae told me, like, 2 weeks ago when all this shit started happening, he said, you know, people just scared of death. That's 100%. What he said. That's the big thing.
It shows people, the average person, my grandfather's a pastor. Yeah. So, one of his main common statements you'll hear him say is, the main reason people don't need religion is because they don't think they're going to die. That's what he'll say. Because the case is, most people, when they get on the deathbed or if they get in a car accident or something happens, they get a horrible pain. Oh, Lord!
Yep,
Lord!
Jesus.
And then they in church. And then as soon as the pain is gone, they like, oh, I'm going to go and head back to the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think this is basically that situation in a large scale for everyone. So now we got people on online church. Because if they get in their house, you want the Lord in here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's necessarily for that. Personally, my personal belief, nobody else's belief.
Go for it, bro.
My personal belief is that anything that happens to you physically, like if you get caught in a storm, if you get in a car accident, I don't think that the Christian God or the Buddhist God or whoever your God is would have any effect on that, because those systems are set in place without them. Even if they set them in place, no, God is not coming here every day and telling it to rain in each spot that it's raining. That's physics. Okay. Yeah. So the key to it is if you do believe in, if you want to believe in an afterlife, you do need a religion. But what I'm saying is that Science will explain everything that's happening with viruses or sickness or anything you're going through here.
I hope y'all listen.
But afterlife, science don't got nothing to help you with that. So if you're a person that's afraid of death, afterlife is something that it's going to be vital for you. The thought of afterlife. So most people don't want to think about it, and that's where this is put in.
Physics can help you with afterlife because we technically are energy. Energy transfers; it doesn't die. So technically,
but does it transfer with consciousness?
You don't know what it's transferring to, but technically, your energy doesn't die ever.
Yeah. The law of conservation of mass.
Ah.
Wait.
So science can help with that. But anyway, that's another topic.
Y'all should have kept going with that. That's true. I feel like energy does keep on going though. I think that's the eternal life. Is that like okay? So it just transfers just to the next stage of life.
So if you burn something, what's happening? If I burn this cup right here, the cup is not any material that's in this cup is not going anywhere.
Right.
What it's doing is just transferring state into gas and into carbon residue and different things.
So, it's still there.
Do we reincarnate?
I don't think
that's what it sounds like in my type of way.
That we reincarnate, because if that were the case, then I think there would be a lot more stories of past lives.
Makes sense.
I think that's just like people going into dream state and just calling out things. Sorry, anybody who believes in past lives.
Yeah, I get that too, because like when you die, I feel like when you die and people come back to life and they're like, oh, I saw the light, it's because that's what your belief system before you die.
Yeah, you dream
like if
state.
you believe in Jesus and all that, when you die, you're going to see Jesus. You get what I mean? Because it's in your subconscious mind.
Yeah, so
I'm like, okay. If I die, I might see a shroom or something.
Big ass shit. I'm tripping out. Yeah.
I personally believe that we do know that our world is digital. So what that means is that there's a minimum measurement of time. There's a minimum measurement of space. So if I take a pencil and I cut it in half, and then I take the two pieces, then I take one piece and I cut it in half, and I keep cutting that in half, keep cutting that in half. There's something called Planck length, which is the lowest you can cut something before, guess what? You cut it one more time, and now that atom that you just cut in half is in every place in the universe at the same time. So it's in you, it's in me, it's in everything. This happens millions of times a day.
Wow.
So if that be the case, then that means that it traveled beyond the speed of light to get to the edge of the universe and to be in me at the same time. So that means that we're not actually here. We're a representation.
We're just figments of it.
Yeah, we're a representation of of a higher reality.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what I.
Whoa, this guy, that was well said.
It's the
truth.
Yo, you sound like a professor saying that, like type of. Oh my, no, seriously, and I understood every single thing you said.
Yeah. That's quantum physics.
How do you learn that? How do you learn quantum physics?
Lots of lectures.
I bet. I believe it, man.
YouTube.
Sitting bored, going to.
Physics and metaphysics. Physics is everything.
Because I want to know. I got these questions, man. Yeah. And I can't sit somewhere and be like, my question is, why is everyone else not concerned? Because the same feet or same steps that I take every day through the same streets in Cleveland, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people taking these steps, looking at the same stuff. So I'm like, why am I concerned with this deeper level of reality? And other people seem to only be concerned with the game. And now those people are.
Why is that though? Like, what's your reasoning for that?
It's focus, like we were saying. It's a perspective. What they see, like if a person gets a taste of that point of view, if they grab onto it, it'll barrel roll.
Yeah.
But if they don't grab onto it, like school, everybody gets a chance to grab onto it, but school paints it with a dark paintbrush. You know, hey, if you do wrong, we'll kick you out. You don't care what's on the paper. You just want to pass so you can live. They tell you your life is going to end. But what if the stuff on the paper was important?
Yeah.
You know, that's not what I was told when I was a kid. It was more so, did you get an F? What was on the paper? Did you know? Well, now I'm in between. I'm not even worried about the knowledge that they were trying to give. I'm worried about pleasing these people. I'm trying to get to somewhere in life. And you know what I mean? It's difficult, man.
This is good.
That was well said. That's how I looked at school my whole life.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
But when I learned that, though, I became great at school.
Yeah,
because I learned how to finesse it from another point of view. But yeah,
but some people aren't that wise in that point of view.
Yeah, you're right though. You're right.
I might know all of this stuff, but I didn't go to college like that.
Yeah,
it's memory. It's all about remembering.
Boom.
That's all.
It's what's important to you. Your memory holds on to what's important to you. Somebody who's in the hair anything that somebody says on the slide quietly, they'll
gonna
remember
remember
about
it.
hair.
Yeah.
But if you say something about quantum physics to them,
Yeah, it's
one
gonna
ear,
go,
not
whoop.
the other.
Yeah, they don't care
What?
about
What
it.
are you talking about?
Oh, they gonna be like, oh, here you go talking crazy.
No, he ain't talking that stuff.
I like hearing stuff like that because I don't hear it on a daily basis. So that's why I do like talking definitely to Devontae about that quantum physics shit because I don't know nothing about that. But the way he breaks it down sounds like, man, like a lecture book. That's pretty good.
I just want to understand stuff, like stuff.
Yeah.
Like the actual table. Like I'm like, why can I touch a table, but I can't go through the table, but I can go through other materials? And it's like other people take that as like, oh, that's simple. You know, it's just water. What are you talking?
It's to touch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But why is water fluid? But like, and all these questions, like just that other people don't even think to ask.
Like, is water wet?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Is water wet?
Is water wet?
It's not.
Is it?
I heard it's not, but I want to say yeah from my own perspective. I want to just say yeah.
Is water wet? That's the question.
That's a
for
high
today.
Water wet.
Yeah, that's the question of the day.
Question of the day, everybody.
Is water wet?
That's a good one, though. So, how do y'all inquire y'all, knowledge and experience that you all have? Like how you know physics, like and how you're in the band, how you're creative, like how you are creative. Like how do y'all acquire the things y'all do?
Mostly for me, the internet, and I read a little.
Okay.
You know? So like but I'm one of those new age people that don't actually read. I do audiobooks. So I just listen to people.
No,
talk.
you do audiobooks?
Audiobooks, podcasts.
What's
with
this
different
Really?
people.
You the first person to say that.
Audiobooks are awesome. And then to me, if somebody's saying it to you, like what you feed yourself is a diet. You feed your subconscious mind.
Say it
So if
again.
somebody is like saying it to you, it's kind of better. So I do the same thing like every day.
Yeah.
Oh, if you have Spotify, 7 good minutes. Listen to it every day. It's just 7 minutes.
There you go.
And it's got somebody like Jim Rome or Les Brown saying something about discipline and blah, blah, blah.
Nice. What is it called on Spotify?
7 good minutes.
7. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so
He
it
looked it
just
up.
gives you that whole subconscious mind, like he was saying earlier. That's what's programmed, and that's what you're kind of trying to reprogram. So if what you're feeding is important, like what's coming in. So if I'm listening to somebody every day say, you are beautiful, you are powerful,
You're
you
stating
this
how you do
beautiful.
it.
And I'm gonna wake up like, yeah,
The
you know?
only way to program the subconscious mind is repetition.
It's repetition. Like every day, just digging in. And to go back to your question, with me, I've kind of always been this person. I know my mom is there to say so. Like I've always been. I question everything from birth. My mom always be like, since 5, I remember her saying, if it comes to your mind, it doesn't have to come out your mouth. Like I was always like, well, what is that? I would question your pastor.
What
Like
you
if
mean?
God is real, then why is we doing this? Blah blah blah. I've always been this person. I've kind of always been eclectic. I guess that's a good word.
Yeah.
And then like him, I want to know, so I'm gonna go figure out how to know. I want to know past what pastor said. I want to know past what somebody's saying. I want to know, so I'm gonna seek it in some way, whether I'm reading about it or meeting people who know. Like as far as music, if I want to know something about music, I'm gonna go talk to McFarlane or because they know. You know, that's where I'm at.
They know your interests.
Like if I want to do a podcast, I'm like, hey Jay, so
Yeah.
what
let me get the
that's what
info
I'm
from
gonna
you.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. Whoever want to go up next?
For me, I say my family is a big interest of where that's helped with my interest, especially with conspiracy theories. My mom was one of the first people in my family to really branch out outside of just Christianity and just the norms of shit and spirituality. And even the people I date, a lot of the people I date had a huge impact on my growth. Relationships taught me a lot about myself. And I think that's just where it took family and relationships, and then it's just research. I'm a book reader, so I like reading because then I can go back over. Okay, even if my mind trails off, I have to read this again. Like you said, repetition. Get that knowledge within.
Right.
It's a book called Message to Millennials, huge on what's going on with our government, what's going on with laptops and computers, the hidden agendas and shit like that. So I want to understand the world, but not in this everyday society world. Like I want to see the dark shit that's going on. Yeah, I'm a truth seeker, but then I search for truth within myself. What higher source am I tapped into? Because I've had too many experiences off psychedelics. where I'm tapping into a source
Seriously.
where I'm like, this ain't normal, you
Don't
know.
get me started on those.
You feel me? So it's like,
We can get started. No,
yeah.
No, for real.
So everybody who's here, it seems like they understand, you know,
Yeah, them sites.
this reality isn't just a normal, like he said, just tapping on this table. It's
Right.
more that you're doing. This vibration is going through this table. They could be reaching to you. You feel me?
Yep.
So I just want to understand truth. I'm a
Yes,
truth
man.
seeker. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you,
True.
Justin?
About me, the way I acquire knowledge and truth, honestly, is just doing really what makes me feel like whole on the inside, like makes me feel like passionate. And by me, like Charlotte said, how she likes music, she goes around musicians. I like to travel. I go around people that's adventurous, so just do this weird shit all the time. And by me doing that, I learn things from them and I gain knowledge from them. For instance, this past summer, I was in Panera Bread and I was chilling, studying for the NCLEX. One girl across me was studying too. She's like, I feel that we're studying for something, you know, big. I was like, yeah, I'm studying for the NCLEX. She's like, yeah, I'm studying for the bar exam. And then she told me about her Europe trip. And she said, yeah, I went to Europe. I only spent $2,000 and I traveled for 2 months. And I was like, how do you do that? I always wanted to do that. And she told me the plan. And boom, that's what helped me map out my Europe trip by meeting her. So, yeah. And that's just pretty much the way how I acquire knowledge and gain experiences to just go out into the world. You know what I mean? And I believe you will attract who you are and what energy you have.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Exactly what he
lengthy
pretty
story.
much just said. Surroundings, like whoever you're around, what you're doing at that time, like what you're attracting. That's what you're gonna get your interest is from, you know. So like if you're around your friend that plays guitar all the time, are you just gonna watch him play the guitar all the time, or you're gonna actually like, hey, you want to teach me a little chord or
Yeah,
something?
let me
You know,
hear it. Like,
you're watching
yeah.
your friend paint all these pictures and stuff, and you're like, what's up? Let me get on that. Let me get a portrait or something. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Questions.
Yeah,
you know,
like-
once you start asking questions, you know, answers are gonna be dealt to you. So
trying new
yeah.
things, new experiences.
That's
You know,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
That's power right there.
Yeah.
People are so locked up in their way to where when it's another way come, it's like, oh no, but this is the way we're going. You have to.
I only know this way.
Yeah, you will never learn anything doing that. You will never grow. Just being like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm only dealing with these type of people. And in some instances, that's
You know,
you have to.
the psychologists are Jordan Peterson always says that the human being has the ability to go from hell to heaven. So we might have the ability to be the greatest person you ever met and save your life and pay your way or whatever it happens, or that same human being could destroy your life, take everything from you, or hurt you so bad. So it's about
Sorry.
Does that hurt?
that sounds painful. Like,
Ooh.
I think my brother
this is the thing that makes being out in the world with other people very difficult, you know, and makes different things manifest with how you perceive yourself, because each person, how you manifest to them is going to change how they manifest in your reality. So if somebody comes off to you as a dick, you're going to treat them differently than that same person that's treating them differently. Now they're a dick to that person.
Yep.
When this person who they came off a different way to them, they manifested in a different way to that person, this person gave them hella free shit. You know what I mean? Whatever it might have been. So somebody can have, I've talked about a separate person with somebody and been like, man, that dude is a piece of shit. You know, and they're like, man, that dude is like my cousin.
Yeah.
You know, so
Why you blowing down my cousin like
really,
that?
anybody who you hang around who has constantly got bad reports of life, get away from them.
Yes.
Because
Negative
pretty soon your
energy.
report
It's
is
gonna be the
bad.
same.
And we
Negative
call them red
energy,
flags in
yeah.
2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But look here, sometimes we like those red flags. We go straight towards them. Believe it or not, you ever run into the same red
Sometimes
flag
you're
person?
addicted to
Yeah, we see.
Boom.
The social
Boom, and
media.
this,
I was
the
about to say
toxic. Oh, go ahead. Social media. That's how you feel.
I mean, social media heightens that feel. You know, even when we grew up, we watched Flavor of Love. That was a very negative show. You feel me? Like, but we were drawn to the negativity. You know, with all these dating shows. You feel me?
Yep.
Like what we're used to, especially in the United States, is honestly negative. You know, compared to like, I just don't want to say Africa, but Africa. You know, they're dancing. this guy I know, I work with him. He's like, in my country, we dance all the time. He was like, when we go out, we gather as communities. We share stories with each other. We have social gatherings where it's uplifting. If somebody does something, we don't bash them.
Right.
You know, we try to uplift them, say the positive aspects about them, so we can lift their conscience, and put love back into them. But here we want to bash and tarnish your name, and then live with that and feel good about it. Instead of like, well, he did this for me,
Right.
Let's give some better qualities. Get better qualities in 2020,
Yeah.
Toxic traits are
I
trash.
like that.
That's so to get back. That brings us into that toxic conversation because that's
Toxic
basically
traits.
where it's going. And I'm with you to piggyback off what you were saying. It's an addiction. Like I can admit, I was addicted to pain, and a lot of it comes through childhood trauma. A lot of our issues, all of our issues, is like some childhood trauma thing that we haven't dealt with.
That nobody even knew.
That nobody even knew you. Sometimes you don't even know you. I didn't realize I had daddy issues until I was 30 or 31. I'm like,
Really?
oh, yeah. And I like messed up a great situation looking for that type of person.
Right.
So when I
Right.
didn't see it anymore, I was unsure, and I was questioning, like, "Oh, you just love me too much. I don't understand what, because it wasn't what I saw love as.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know what I was taught.
Right.
Like, this is the only view I have of a man's love. So if it's wavering, I'm like, what's this? So when that same view of that love came, I'm like, oh, this is what I was looking for, and end up destroying things. I'm like, whoa, and I end up looking at the person like, oh, I got daddy issues. Like a light went off.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to deal with that, and I was really seeking the pain. I was the peace and love was kind of uncomfortable because I wasn't used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people, like this whole men versus women battle, it's
We were
basically
just talking about that.
Just talking about
that battle is really
ironic.
Yeah.
it's honestly just our inner child crying out for help on both sides, and we don't know how. Like both of us are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like we just have to heal.
Yeah.
Both sides need to heal
Right.
and be accepting of love. Like to me, that's the answer for everything. Everything is love, and energy is love. So if we just
Right.
and we just run from it, we do all type of stuff because we done built so many mechanisms against love.
Right.
To where it's easier to hate. It's easy to hate somebody. It's so easy for me to hate you. It's
Now,
easy
can
for
you
me to-
elaborate on that? Like, why you feel like it's easier to hate somebody? I'm curious.
It's easy for me to be like, oh, I don't like him.
Uh-huh.
Oh, his outfit ugly. It's easy for me to, but for me to say I love you, I have to work at that.
Yeah.
I have to get to know you. I have to understand you. That's hard.
Right.
So it's easier for me to, and then I can hop online and dog you and get likes.
Why do you think it's hard though?
Yeah.
Like, why is that hard for people to do at this
Yeah,
point?
I really think that goes back to the latter, like not being healed. Like to me, everything goes back to in you. So for my belief, everything is about you. Like y'all sitting out here is about me. Like so, I always try to ask myself, what does this have to do with me? So everything in my life is a lesson for me, or something, a blessing, whatever. It's for me.
Right.
So it's like it goes back to you. You got to fix yourself. So like if he was saying earlier, if you meeting pain all the time, it's a lot of pain in here. So just close yourself off and look in the mirror. Have that conversation. Like what's going on? Because everything outside of you is a reflection of what's on the inside of you. So if you don't like what you see on the outside, you simply got to fix what's on the inside.
Yeah. I agree.
And a lot we like to project instead of doing that because it's easier for me to say, "Oh, men ain't shit." Psh. Every time I dated a man, it's hard for me to be like, it's hard for me to be like, "Oh, I ain't shit. Maybe I should work on myself." It's easier for you to blame, like, "Oh, my mama did this to me, so now I'm messed up," instead of saying, okay, so what can I do to make it better for me? Because at the end of the day, if all the men I attract ain't shit, then I ain't shit.
So we need to
You
stop the
ain't
blame
shit.
game and really look
look
our
at
inner
why
selves.
you attracting that. Because everything you're attracting to you you're manifesting it to yourself.
Yep.
So really, if everybody you meet ain't shit, then you gotta step back and be like, all right.
Well, I'm the shit. I mean, some dope people. Y'all in here. Y'all in here. You feel me? But yeah, I definitely agree. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
Yep, go for it. Now, I'm just keeping it going.
Oh no, yeah, but I feel like a lot of that stuff happens to us in a young age, like you said, early, because our society. Now, I'm not saying change it, but our society specifically likes to be quiet about things. Like we can hide things from them young people.
Especially
Like, don't, shh, my son. My son is right there. Like, but the key is your son was watching it on the TV last night.
And they already know.
But the key to it is each of us meet women or men in any situation and put ourselves in these situations that are adult situations before somebody even gives us in any conversation, if we ever get one at all.
Never got one.
Or we personally learn on our own. So what happens is the situation gets there, it does the damage, and then the person creates a pattern.
Yep.
So now that they're a little older and they're in a situation where they should be doing these things, these patterns are created from when they were 14, 15, 16, however old they started.
Years of experience.
So he just
So
gonna
now
talk about me.
So now that when you get older, you're going to have more trouble with people with simple concepts that should be very simple,
Right.
because you were doing this beforehand. You or not. I won't say before you should have been, because that's up to each person. What I mean is before you learned about it.
Before you even understood what was
Before
going
you
on.
understood what was happening.
Yeah.
Right.
And that can happen with parents. For instance, if a
Friendships.
parent is, if people have argumentative parents, like I have a lot of exes with argumentative parents, and they don't realize that seeds in them this need for an argument.
Yep.
So we're like perfectly fine. Everything is great. It's
Trying to
peachy
find
and
something
keen.
Right.
Here she come.
Stay
Wait,
safe.
what's wrong? I don't know. It's just you. Well, what happened? I just woke up, and you can tell she's not looking for anything specific. She just wants to feel something.
Yeah.
And each person feels things according to what happened to them when they were a child.
Yep.
So if your mom or father or auntie or whoever raised you was super loving and gave you love in this way and showed you what the right things were to do and wrong things were to be done when someone loves you, and those people are married normally already.
Yep.
You can't date them.
I
They're
swear
gone.
to God.
They're gone at 19.
Like one of my
They're going to 19.
he is really
Ladies, they're
telling
going
the
to
truth.
19.
Like literally, my sis, my bandmate, her excellent relationship with her father, like he really showed her how she should be married. Like you can just tell, like her whole family structure is like, oh, it was
married?
inevitable for you to be married.
Was she 19 when she got married?
He's done.
She was young. We young. She was married for like 5 years. So yeah, like in her 20s.
Salute to everybody out there that got married at a young age. I respect y'all. And still doing it though. I
Yeah.
respect
So us
that.
broken
That's good.
people is left with the leftovers.
I'm broke as
You
fuck.
know?
And then we all just
Broke
out
as fuck.
trying to see who can break each other. Like, oh no, you more messed up than me, baby.
Hey, I go my own pace. Fuck that shit.
Right.
That's how I am.
You
Go
know,
at your
I understand
own
everybody does want to have a pace to go at, but you got to go on your own pace.
That's true.
We all want a pace. We all have our own specific goals we want with anything in life, but we can't look at everybody else's sunshine and be like, oh, well, they did this for me. No, we all have our own pace. Some people may go before or after, or whenever you want to.
You get there when
That's
you get
what I
there.
mean.
You get
A lot
there.
of people need to have a lot of personal work done before they try and bring
Period.
somebody else into that damaging circle.
Period. Healing.
Because
Healing.
I've had
Yeah.
met people and they're like, oh, this person is great. I love her. She's just awesome. And then you get to know her and you're like, let me get out of here.
She
Yeah.
crazy,
You know
bro.
what I mean? Because
you rushed it,
You
though.
don't get in until you get in. And then you like, I'm in and I need to go.
So how long does it take you to get in?
So,
How long does it
see,
take you
that
to get
depends
in?
on the girl. No, I'm joking. But,
It
like,
depends
I mean,
on
as
the
long as it
girl.
takes to get to know the person. You know?
I'm the same.
Each person is
No,
different.
you're
though. So
fine.
you might meet a girl, and I've met women who are completely broad and open with me in 5 days, telling me about their worst issues to their best issues.
That's me today.
You know, versus then you have a girl I'll date for a year, and I'm just now learning that she has a brother or something. You know?
Yeah.
So, like, if that's the case, it depends on how you date. Because some people like that. Some people really like to have that long, drawn out courtship 1953, experience where they want me to pick you up on Saturday.
You're sexy. On Tuesday, we're going to fuck and do shrooms. And then
Oh.
Wednesday, I'll tell you about myself.
Is that the planned out people
all the
who like
shit.
everything planned down the way? Fuck that.
That's an old school mentality.
old
Like you
school
said, that's an old school.
I get up and just go, whatever we gonna do, baby, that's what we gonna do. You know what I mean? But shit.
I
I'm
think
a
our
flow.
generation is just... I think that's why millennials are hated so much.
Yeah.
By ex, because we too free. Yeah, we don't. We
That's it.
really don't hold on to the tradition. We don't really give a fuck. It's like
Fly.
probably like 1% of us. It's like okay,
What's
well,
the
Mama
cause
did
of
it,
that?
so we're
Because
gonna do it.
traditions are meant to be
Honestly,
changed.
I think
Facts.
what's the cause is technology.
Mhm.
So, we well, I'm older than y'all, but us 80 babies, we really I was born in the in between. So I was born where we had a garden in the back. We was learning how to do all that. We had pagers. We didn't have all this. And then I'm playing solitaire. That was like the highlight of my life. And then it was like, oh, I got a cell phone with Snake on it. What? And then it was like, oh, Facebook. And then it was like,
everything.
And it was like, all that stuff they was trying to, brainwash me into, because that's basically, it's a book called The Four Agreements, one of my favorite books.
I love that fucking book.
Yes.
Love it.
And that's what he was saying, like, we make agreements with our parents at birth, like, oh, you're a Christian? I agree to that. You eat beef and pork? I agree to that. Right. Without even thinking about it, we make these contractual agreements with they're our God. Like, when they come out, this is God, this is all we know. But now it's like these kids, like my son is 13. He was literally born without any of that. He was born and able to be like, I am Travis, this is how I think. Like, the other day he came to me and we in the car talking. He was like, you know what, Mom? I think Earth is God. We came from the Earth and something happened. Chemicals came together and then boom, we were created. We are the same as the Earth. Like this, he thinks on his own term. Like me, if I would have said that to them, they'd be like, what is you smoking?
But by you going through that learning and you being a parent now, you learn to let your child be more open-minded. That's what it sounds like.
I won't put nothing. Yeah, I feel like that's the difference between this generation and generations to come is we're not forcing tradition. Our traditions don't make us. Whereas when we were brought up, their grandparents was Christian, Muslim, whatever. So that's what you had to be in a sense. Now it's kind of like they're able to learn their own. Really, a 6-year-old can tell you more about some stuff than a grown person now. Yeah. I have talked to some kids and be like,
they're wise. Yeah. They have knowledge right in the palm of their hand or whatever.
So it's just like now it's just more. So technology has really sped us up, and I think the Generation X, whatever they call it, they're still holding on. So they looking at us like, well,
what y'all doing, switching everything up? No, take that shit back to the typewriter. We don't want that laptop. Like, look here, boomers, okay? We respect y'all, but it is our generation now, boomers. And that's why we want to say to people, like,
I had to tell my grandma and my mom that, like, we the next ones to leave. Like, y'all just got to learn to sit down. You know, y'all had y'all time. Y'all fucked it up. So now it's our time to fix y'all shit.
Like, we love them.
We love them. We respect you. You tried your best.
So back to your point, I think since your son asked you that, one of the best things you could do for him is to inquire, like force inquire. So if he asks such a serious question, you know he's thinking about something like that. Force inquire. So why do you think that?
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
And he's like, what?
He basically believes in like the big thing. Yeah.
And he's like, and you tell you why. Well, why do you think that? And that'll make him go back and be like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And you'll force an inquiry cycle that'll keep going in his life.
Yep, and that's how we relate. That's how we talk. That's and he'll just randomly pick him up from like his friend's house. And he's like, you know what? He'll randomly bring it up and I do just that. That's how he was like, he believed in like the Big Bang Theory in a sense. Like basically some type of atoms or something came together and we came from Earth. That's where he's at.
You know, Big Bang Theory is really, really, really weird. I did a lot of studying on it, trying to understand it, and it just, all of the universe was in a single point, and something happened, and 1 in 4 atoms or something like this bounces off, and it became real matter, while the others fell into white, and became energy, and then the cycle repeats, and slowly we had a mass ball that expands. Come on, dude.
It's just too much.
I don't necessarily... So what they're reading is they're looking at the background radiation, which is when something explodes or anything happens in time, it leaves a remnant. So I move my arm like this. That's forever there. In 50,000 years, somebody can come and put a scanner on this spot and see Devontae moved his arm here at this time. So everything here is recorded because it's digital. So they can go back in time effectively. When you look at a star, did you know the stars in the sky you see at night are not actually there? Not actually there in the form we're looking at them. They're there thousands of years ago. So if you see a shooting star in the distance, that star probably passed 1,000 years
long time ago,
3,000 years ago, 4,000 years
Which is why things only happen every
because
6,000
light
years.
has a speed. Light takes a certain amount of time to get to us. So if I'm looking at Alpha Centauri and let's say a fluke comet hits one of the planets and knocks into the star and the star goes out.
Right.
We won't see that. The star is gone. It's gone right now.
So
but
we're seeing
we
an
won't
old
see
star.
it. If we look in the sky, it'll still be right there. Until that light gets to us, that it blew up,
We're not gonna
and we
see
see
it.
a supernova in the sky. Wow, we thinking that's happening right now. It happened 10,000 years ago. So, like, what looking at the background radiation does is they're able to see what happened at the beginning of the universe. So what they see is the energy all converging into one point, and they're like,
Boom.
what does that
And they
mean?
got him looking.
You know what I mean? It's like, how does that work? Everything
Right.
was just there, and then all of a sudden, we see it do this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they named it the Big Bang.
Big
And that's
Bang.
actually a joke name.
Mhm.
It got that name out of somebody joking about it when they published it the first time. They were like, "Oh, so like a big explosion, like boom," and it caught.
The Big Bang.
That's really what
Theory.
it's called now.
Mhm.
You know?
That's interesting how there's so many different theories, but do we actually know the truth?
We always trying
No,
to figure it
seriously,
out.
we always trying to
That's
figure it
real
out.
Yeah.
time. That's real time.
Yeah.
So that's real time. You can go look at that now.
Yeah, but do we know the truth though? You know what I'm saying? It's all these theories, all these different philosophies. I study a lot of philosophy, but it feels like we're always trying to seek the truth. You know what I mean?
I'm always go with science.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm a Scientologist, but it has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then it just
It's hard to do.
yeah. It's like that's why I can't, go to religion and everything because at some point it's like okay, this doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like where are the snakes that have legs? Like where are they at now?
So
Like, can I see?
to somebody else though, that may make sense. Oh yeah, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's all
I
about perception.
Feel as though a person in the past, religion. I do believe that I am a religious person, mind you, but speaking from a non-religious person's perspective, the reason that religion would be necessary in the past world is because we are very intelligent now. It's just 2020. We're on a level that is unheard of in the timeline of human beings. Let's go back 200 years and people have no idea to the level of how intelligent we are. You know what I mean? So now let's go back a couple thousand years. How smart was your average Johnny in the year 1000?
That's kind of dumb. I don't know.
He's not understanding quantum physics. So how do you put a wrap on these people? How do you give these people some sort of consolidated sense of what's going to happen when they die and how they should act?
now
here?
that make a lot of sense.
They need
Give
religion
them
in
something
that
to
point.
believe in and make sense of it all.
Because if for instance, if nobody thought that if they killed someone, God was going to take them off the planet,
Everybody
or-
would be dead.
Everybody would be dead. As soon as you piss somebody off, getting a knife out, stabbing you.
What you doing?
You know what I mean? But if the Lord was prominent 1,000 years ago, now you got people like, oh, the Lord. So they gotta watch their head. And nothing might ever come. But do you really want to risk that if your entire society is into it?
That's true. That goes back to that group thing though.
So now America is losing a lot of its religious base. So a lot of the ideas are losing their veracity. But I do believe that inherently a human being is going to lose their true purpose in life if they lose all religion right now. Just because we are not developed to a point of understanding that I think a person could have enough physical, provable knowledge to prove and understand and feel safe about dying.
Now, what if you're not a religious person though? You know, people have different views out here
They
nowadays.
just don't think about it. Think about it. If a person says, like a non-religious, I know a lot of non-religious people. I have a few friends where one friend, we sat for 7 hours over a campfire one night. I don't know if we were tripping. I can't remember. But we had a long conversation about religion. And this is a point where I was super heavily Christian and he was super heavily atheist. So we're just
Yeah, y'all going back and forth.
back and forth, trying to beat each other's ideas. And during these conversations, I kind of realized that it's a circle, because there's no proof for any of them.
Yeah.
There's no proof there is no God. There's no proof there is a God. There is no proof that this God is bigger than this God. There's no proof for any of it. So the key is, what are you arguing?
The power
That's
is
awesome.
the belief. That's the power. I don't care if it's the couch. If you in your soul feel like this couch is your salvation, then if you believe
Facts.
with your heart, your words, your mind, that couch is your savior. That's how it.
I believe-
your
yeah,
mind is
I feel it, though.
literally it doesn't matter what your name you're putting on it, whatever it is. If you believe it wholeheartedly, you feel it in your heart and soul, it's gonna manifest to you. So if I say, "Hey, couch," if this couch blow up, I'm gonna die. I might get sick if he throw this couch away.
You're
Just like-
joking, but you're actually
I'm
literally
dead
mapping
serious.
out idol worship.
and that's really
That's religion, though.
But it's
that's
belief,
all
though.
it
Yeah.
is.
That's
It's
religion,
that. Like
though.
it's a belief.
Yeah.
That's what religion.
You believe in the Bible.
technically-
It's an item.
It's an item. It's something to you. Like, but then, like, if you believe, that's like when you die, you see the white light. If you were a Christian, that's what you're gonna see. But if I believe in reincarnation, I might see like year 18,030, whatever. I might. It depends on where. It's all about where your mind is.
What
is
I
it?
think is going to happen. Now, don't quote me on this. I'm not God, but what I think is going to happen
are
is
God.
is
You know,
when I die,
perspective.
right? I'm gonna wake up like this. This is death. Oh,
Be back in your room. That's right.
that's death. I'm pretty certain that's gonna be death. We're gonna be like, I cannot believe I just went through all of this time doing all of this stuff, and this is really what it is.
Well, you
So
got to
the
put in work
Matrix.
right now, then, bro. If you feel that way, you got to live that life now, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not that I'm disappointed, but what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying is anything that's down here
Right.
is a joke.
Really?
Just like if you were playing Skyrim,
I
or
kinda
anybody that
believe
doesn't
in
know
that
that
too.
game, it's a video game. If you were
Like it's
playing a
TV.
video game and you were this NPC running around killing dragons,
Uh-huh.
you're doing your thing, you became the Dragonborn, you succeeded at life, you say you got a business and you succeeded here,
Yeah.
you did all your things.
And then you go
You know,
back, like,
and then you're on your deathbed, and then everybody's praising you, good job. You wake up, for nothing. You look around wherever reality really
where
is.
it is. Yep, I believe.
You're
in
gonna look at this, and it's gonna be like an anthill on a table.
So y'all take Earth
I'm
as a
certain
joke,
about
is what
it.
y'all saying, though.
that. In a sense.
So are y'all really enjoying y'all journey here? So I'm
Yes,
asking.
but what I'm
Oh,
saying is,
yeah.
I feel like it's like because if we're a reflection, that quantum physics description I gave earlier,
Uh-huh.
if that really is true, then time is a manifestation of something that only we can sense.
Right.
So you living 50 years or 90 years or however long is really just how long it felt to
Felt.
you. But really, the key to it is if I put you on a plane and I send you up into the sky, high as I can, and I send you at a high speed, right? And I stand right here. When you come back, your clock is slightly different than mine.
That's why you
I'm
get
serious.
jet lag.
You're
Like,
slightly older, slightly younger than me. However, depending on however fast you're going to remember the ratio which way. But that means that time is E equals MC squared means that they affect each other.
Time is a construct.
Yes, so they affect each other. So how fast you're moving is what decides your time. So just because we're spinning on Earth, going at the speed we're going is the way we experience, is why we experience time the way we do. So for instance, if somebody's from another planet, I know they exist, and they come and visit us, they might live for 6,000 years, Earth year. And then to them, that's 60. They're like, I'm
Right.
45. No, man, you're 486 Earth
It's been
years.
here forever.
But to them, they would look the same age because their body would be genetically built for their planet. So what I'm saying is, if there is a reality above this reality, and say there are aliens, right, or different beings from other worlds, then the consolidated time that we all feel that is malleable here is going to be a solid there because it has to be inside of something in the next higher dimension.
Yeah.
So, for instance, thinking of it as drawing lines. So, if Earth, my line is this long, and this guy on Mars' line is this long, and this guy, all of these lines are drawn on a sheet of paper, and that's where I'm saying death is. Does that make sense?
I don't know where it is, though.
So when you get there, wherever that is,
I think we won't know it till we get there. We could be dead right now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
You are there right now.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
you could just
Being one of
repeat.
these dimensions repeating. See, I agree with that. I believe that we come here to remember who we are. So, boom, when you came we were born in triple darkness. And then, poof, we see light. We forget whatever reality we just came from. And our purpose is to rebuild and remember who we are, which is why we get deja vu, blah, blah, blah. And you ever meet somebody, you be like, oh, I know you my whole life because
Yeah.
I probably do know you in the fifth dimension somewhere.
Deja vu is probably because time is all happening at the same time.
So, and we're doing that in different dimensions. So I feel like
I agree with that.
if we succeed here, we have a mission. We're born with a mission. We don't know what the mission is. It's our job to remember. If we don't succeed in that mission,
Gotta
we
repeat.
have to repeat it over and over. I really think we just come back
Yeah.
and then, like, that's why I feel like we are our ancestors.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like how people pray to ancestors. I feel like we
Yeah.
are just them. We keep repeating these cycles and cycles. Like,
We haven't learned
Yeah.
yet.
if you didn't learn, but if you learn, then you probably just go to like
Next
dimension
dimension.
17 and
That
be
know,
could
there.
mean
I really
some
like
souls
that.
are older than others.
I like
Yeah.
that perception.
That's
I
why
feel
the older
like
spirits, you feel
some
me?
people, when you talk to certain people, like I've talked to some people where it's like, dude, you're way older than your age.
That's
Mhm.
exactly
Like, I'm
what
talking
you said.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
also-
old.
Yeah, I say I'm old.
16-year-olds
Yeah.
have been like, dude,
Like, whoa.
how old are you? 16, bro. No, you aren't. Because I done talked to some 16-year-olds that's 16.
You know, it's all about experience. So some
You know?
niggas have been through
True.
some wild shit at 16, while we kind of went through, you know, hey, yeah, but they probably went through some, bruh, I saw niggas get killed. You know, some real, like some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And that can help them grow in a
Niggas die.
different way. For real. But you know, it's crazy how life is like that, though. That's interesting.
That's an interesting topic,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime you get on the afterlife, it's a
It's
speculatory
a
topic.
yep. It's all subjective. It's whatever we feel like it is.
Like,
Dang,
what's the next
what-
topic, Justin?
All right, what is your drunkest story? A story that you just went out, had a great time, got lit, you know, probably had a one night stand or something, or you know, just got drunk, had a good time. What is your story?
Okay, I would say. So, the worst night with drinking for me recently, probably within the last year or so, would probably be, I went to a club downtown, Rumor Cleveland. I go there all the time. Anybody who go there probably know me already. But I went there and I'm like, you know, I do my thing. I'm hood, so I do my pregame.
Yeah.
So I don't buy alcohol there as much as I can, or as much as I
Yeah,
can
for
not
why?
buy it out.
I
I
mean,
try and
for
buy
why?
one or two there.
Yeah, just
But
shit.
Bottle.
either way, I bought my own
There
little
we
pregame,
go.
and then I went there.
Thank
I got my
you.
2 drinks, and I was good. I was hanging out. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm dancing. You know, I dance. So I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. And then people from Vodka were there.
Oh man.
So I'm like, wow. They came up to me and were like, you want free drinks? And I'm like, okay, I'll take a couple drinks.
Yeah.
I downed like
Shit.
2 or 3 of those shots.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, now I'm gone. Now I'm dancing, and I'm like, I can't come up on 1 foot right now because I probably hit the ground.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, all right, just keep it going. And then some lady that had VIP who was leaving, she goes, I have so much extra alcohol, I don't need it. So she just starts pouring it down.
Uh-huh.
So I'm drinking the alcohol. I'm like, okay, it's all good. It's all good. I'll just get the Uber home. Dude, I got this Uber home.
Oh, did you throw up?
I remember I was fine the whole ride. I was talking to the guy, and I'm just like, yeah. I get out the car, and the world just went, whoa, and starts washing machine.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to go in. I'm spinning. Dude, I laid on the floor. I got to, like, the stairs in my house. Threw up on the stairs. Crawls up the stairs.
Oh.
Gets to the entrance
Hell,
to
so
my
why you was
bedroom.
crawling? You was throwing up?
Yeah, like, I got to the top of the stairs to the entrance of my bedroom, laid into the entrance of the door sill of my bedroom, and just went to sleep.
Man,
That's
listen,
right.
throwing up and drunk is not fun.
Spins,
Yeah.
And
man.
I did it. I always do it and say I'm not gonna do it again. Do it again a month later. But still, it's like it's not fun.
I'm gonna need you to
They
get
said,
some control.
I'm
I haven't
just
did in a
keep
while though,
going.
y'all. I haven't got drunk in
I'm
a year
proud
now
of
because
you.
last year I went to someplace. I had just moved back home to Cleveland. Went to get some Mexican food. Had some margaritas. Had 2. Came home. Had a big headache and just started throwing up. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. And that was it. That was it. That was a year ago.
That's beautiful. That's because that was well liquor. But drunk. I have a lot of drunk moments, so I'll just choose one.
Yeah.
So this I'll use this. This is like back when Four Loko came out.
Oh, for loco.
Turn up drink.
So-
That was just to get
Oh, my
fucked
God.
up.
So me and my cousins, we met up. Mind you, it's like 2 p.m. It's a beautiful sunny day. We're like, girl, come on, I got some liquor, blah, blah, blah. I had some Tanqueray vodka.
Oh.
And then nobody had a chaser.
Mhm.
So my one cousin had some Four Loko. I'm like, oh, I'm about to mix this because I need juice in my liquor. But, you know, that got like 17% alcohol in it
Yeah,
too.
that shit is
So
true.
I'm killing it. We had a 5th. It's probably like 4 of us done. It's probably like 6 o'clock now. Still daylight. So we go on talking into our friend house. Anyway, we drink more, smoke some more reefers. We sitting outside talking, shooting the bird, whatever we doing. And it's time to go. I am floored. I am wasted. I don't know what people are saying. Everything is like wash machine. So I drive home. I had a Colors at the time, and the Colors, you know, the light is one light on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's my dad's
boom,
old car.
I get home, and I wake up. My friend stayed in the apartment across from me. I go to her apartment. I look at my car, and I'm like, oh, somebody done hit my motherfucking car. I'm going off. Phone ring. It's my other cousin that I was with the day before. She's like, cuz, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And she was like, you don't know what happened, whatever. She was like, girl, you tore your car up last night. Now, listen, I have no
You
recollection.
blacked out then.
Yeah, I don't even know how I got home, but obviously I drove myself.
You got there, shit.
And so I'm like, okay, so she took me all Tarkington. the whole light of my car is going up and down the street. Apparently, when I went to leave, I backed up real fast and hit the utility pole full edge.
I just kept going.
And just kept going home. And I'm like, so basically I blacked out. Like, I'm like, and I'm mad at her at this point. Like, why would you let me? I followed you most of the way. And I'm like, why would you let me go home like
You
that?
the reason why I blacked out.
Yeah.
You the reason.
And there I go blaming because I was mad. And I'm like, what?
I mean, she should have had your back though.
Yeah.
That's
I'd be
that
like,
cuz like you gotta
Like,
chill.
no.
Like, I
I'm
can't even
taking
let you
your ass
drive.
home.
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta
hey,
let
but
you chill.
To think about it, she was
Like,
drinking
fuck
the
that.
same models of liquor as me.
She was fucked up
and
too.
she had a further distance to go. So I'm like, she was probably just as drunk, but see, she was older, so she probably knew how to handle it more
Shit,
so.
you
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
sleep in the
no,
car.
sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should have stayed
like,
where I
you
was
slept
at.
in that
There's
car.
no way.
Wake up.
But I made it. I lived. I'm
There you
here.
go.
You know, that was a good comment right there, brother. Freedom, sleep in the car. So
Sleep
next
in the
time
car.
you should sleep in the car.
And just take
Yeah,
your
I don't want
keys
car in the morning.
out of the
Yeah.
ignition
Yeah.
and sit on the passenger side
Facts. Oh, yeah.
because you will go to jail for a DUI even if it's not moving.
That's what happened to Haley.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
was
for real?
drunk in the car.
Yeah,
That
lay in
police
the
pulled
back.
up
If your
and they
keys,
was
you
like,
have the
"Oh,
intent to drive.
As long as the keys
Really?
are in the car, they can still give you a DUI.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put your keys in the trunk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got to put them in the trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
lay
shit.
down.
Shout out to Cannabis Friendly. You know, that's why I say just roll the ganja up. Have a little wine.
I agree, because
Yeah.
weed, you ain't gonna do no stuff like that on no weed.
No, you ain't.
They really should
Nah.
like make liquor illegal and then just give everybody weed because
Facts.
liquor kills us way faster.
We, you just be chilling. You probably be there stuck, but like in a more of a meditative way. Like, I'm just gonna sit
It
here
might
listen to
take you
music.
3 days to get to somebody's
So-
house because you're driving slow.
So speaking on the fact that weed is a psychedelic, it's a lower powered psychedelic. So what do you think psychedelics had to benefit once you try them? What changed in your life once you tried the psychedelic?
everything."
Weed included.
Yeah.
I like your first
Wow.
story when I asked you that question. Your first trip story. But for me, I'm a newbie. I just started doing shrooms. Clap for me.
There we go. There we go. All right, here we go.
But yeah, it's been like 4 months now, I guess. And gosh, has it changed my life. I think I told him one of my stories.
Mhm.
But it just gave you a sense. When I first took it, it was an instant realization that life is fucking beautiful.
It is.
Like I instantly was like, "Oh, look at this!"
I love this shit. Like, it's beautiful. It's like, look at y'all beautiful people. Oh, y'all. I
And she just did that. I felt that. I
Yeah,
feel what
you
you feel.
it.
I
Yeah.
feel
It's
it,
like,
man.
look at
like, man.
Like, look at you.
Oh,
Those dreads. Look at those dreads.
You
God damn it.
touching the
You're so
feeling.
bright like that.
And then I
Beautiful
felt
dreads.
one with everything, and I think that was like, I feel like the trip is our natural state, like where we can be if we wasn't so polluted with all the
Absolutely.
socialism and
Uh-huh.
all what
The
we
higher
think the world
dimension.
All the
is.
sensors and
Yeah,
shit on the
because
video.
like you
yeah.
see the beauty and you realize that you are everything and nothing at all. Like I am one with this table. I was like one with my bed. I'm just in the bed. The music felt like life.
Music
was
is
just
sex.
like, and it was just like yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just the colors, the vibrance of it.
Uh-huh.
And I had my intuition was heightened. Like it was really deep. Like just really quickly. I was in my room by myself and my son was home too. So he was in his room playing the game. I heard the electric circuits on this heater crackling. If that, like I literally heard and almost saw it on the inside. So instinctively I got up. I'm like, well, what's up? About to catch on fire.
Right.
He had towels and stuff laying on top of the space heater.
Mm.
And I felt it.
the towel. Yeah.
And then I saw like, so I was singing along with Moonchild, and I saw how my vocal cords work. It was really, really
Oh man. that's
like deep, like
Those
the
are
little
some big experiences.
yeah, like I saw it moving, and like the voice kept telling me to fight, fight, fight. Like that was my lyrics for the day, and I write stuff down as I do it. And
You
then
write-
like
you
one
write-
time I
okay.
tripped and I like fell in love with the guy. It was like really weird.
Mhm.
It was almost like I knew him in another life.
It'll have that
Are
effect.
y'all still together?
It'll really have that effect.
That's my quarantine boo is what I call him.
Oh, shout out to Quarantine Boo.
Quarantine boo.
You caught it the perfect time, my brother. You feel me?
So what happened with that was it was a even display
Uh-huh.
of masculine and feminine energy. So we both are artists. So I had a painting, he had a painting. My painting was like literally water and he was just fire, like the colors. And he's an Aries and I'm a Cancer. We found out later. And I had no idea then. So it was like we were, it was a perfect yin and yang the whole night. And it was like, we both had a feeling that we knew each other before. It was like we were completing each other's sentences. He knew what I was thinking. I knew what he was thinking. It was like really weird.
That's crazy.
It was crazy, and it was like, damn. I'm like, I feel like we soulmates. That's how I had that experience.
No, like if a person takes the stuff with you normally, okay. So, acid LSD has the effect, or not just LSD, but mushrooms, psilocybin, whatever you want to call them, have that effect where they're not actually making you high per se. Neither is weed per se, but what it's doing high would be more so like an opiate, like cocaine.
Okay.
That's where your systems dump serotonin, and then everything is on overdrive. So you're like, woo,
Functional.
But what psychedelics do is they connect parts of the brain that were not previously connected. If I could show you a visual diagram of the brain, imagine one line going from each sensory center in your brain. So the nose to the eyes to the taste to the feel. One line normally connects those. Well, during a trip, 50 lines are connecting all of them to each other. So what happens is a person might hear sound and see a visual. And you can't really bring that to this reality to tell someone who has not tried tripping.
Yeah, you can't explain it.
So you're
just
like,
you gotta
I don't
do
know,
it.
I was tasting
I
colors,
can't tell
man.
you.
And they're like,
They won't understand.
Yeah,
they
they like, that
haven't
don't
been
make
there.
sense. Like,
but when you listen to music, like for me, I dance. So like when I listen to music while tripping, the music is physical. Like I can't even describe it other. Like if I'm tutting, I can see that like invisible lines in the air, and I just follow them. I'm like, what? Am I crazy? No. What it is this is the same system your brain is pre-perceiving and is putting that normal pre-perception of what move you would normally do into the visual cortex. So now you're just seeing this manifestation. And like we had a trip somewhere when we were in Myrtle Beach where I'm sitting on a porch and I'm like looking and I'm seeing these white lines crossing the baluster of this porch. And I'm like, it looks like there's like an electrical grid right here, man. I'm like trying to touch it and shit. And really that's just the like focal point of where the light was coming in and how it was all bouncing. But I'm just like, man, it feels like I'm in some sort of like Faraday cage of life, and I'm like being projected. And like it felt like I could reach up and touch the clouds, and it just showed me that my perspective is building 70% of the reality that I walk around in, not the other way around. We all think that reality is this physical thing that you have to go and interact with. No, reality technically, if you go quantum physics again, reality technically is not there if you're not. So that old question, if a tree fell in the distance, does it make a sound? Well, technically, but no one was there to hear it, so no. So if there's no ears to turn that movement of the reality and that to a sound that can be perceived by a human brain, because a sound is just a representation for us. There's no sound in space.
We make
it ain't. There's no sound in space.
Nothing for it to travel through. There's no medium. So a star will explode and it just
there is sound
dead
in
silence.
Space, though. How do we know though? Like, there is sound in space.
Oh, there is. If you can get some air and put it around the supernova, you'll blow your eardrums.
I'm gonna say you'd be dead.
So if you hear sound in space, you're out of here.
Yeah, you can blow your eardrums up if you can get a lot of air and put it next to something.
I want y'all to go to space and let me know then.
No, you go first.
I want y'all to
Cut
go.
the check, brother.
You go first.
Go to space and find out and let me know.
Cut the check.
There's actually a record player being played in outer space. It's the Voyager, and that's what they put a record player on it with all the music from the 50s.
Shut up.
So when another civilization finds it, it's like you have a piece of us.
That's wrong. I like that.
Wow.
That's like
dope.
That's like Voyager, the first space
that's
probe.
one.
Oh yeah,
it has a rock.
They kicked that out, and it's been going. And what happens is we lost contact with it basically, so it's just floating. And whatever civilization picks it up in the 10,000 years, they're gonna be like, "What is this thing we found out in space? It's got some writing on it, like so maybe some alien civilization will find it."
It's like we're leaving signs behind for people to pick up throughout the journey, and that's good to do.
And we've been doing it since the beginning of our time. We leave clues.
Since the radio.
Yeah, and even like handwritten, like with the paper.
I'm about to say the Vatican
Where
has
are clues?
everything.
Yeah.
Have they left us any clues?
Like hieroglyphics.
I say
history.
Egyptians.
Egyptians.
Egyptians have
I got a
everything
question
for
about
us.
history.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
Do you believe in what the textbooks say is our historic past.
No, but why?
No.
I feel like there's truths. I feel the same as I feel about the Bible. It's his story. So it's like, hey, I found this map and I'm going to tell you what it is.
That's the winner's right.
Yeah, so it's like you really,
books.
it's his story. It's like whoever said I'm going to print this story is from their perception.
Right.
Because technically you really don't really know. Like with hieroglyphics, how do you really know that bird and that man flying meant? You really don't know that hawk face meant. You really don't know. Because that was their language unless she was really there. All we can do is really, to our best of our abilities, try to like come up with
Understand
these.
We can try to guess it. That's why I think it
Anybody
comes
ever
down
heard
to.
of Rosetta Stone?
Yeah.
The teaching app?
Yeah.
You know where that comes from?
Where?
The original way we learned anything about hieroglyphics or any of those forgotten dead languages, we found a stone, a cracked piece of rock, where there was the same paragraphs or sentences written in multiple different languages. So we were able to cross-reference, okay, here they're saying the same thing, so that must mean this. And if we learned one of those languages, we learned them all. So that's why we have the Rosetta Stone, which you could look up now, which is just
that's kind of dope.
An actual actual object that was found that helped us figure those hieroglyphics out.
That kind of sound like the Book of the Dead in the Bible, mirroring the same. It's like the same information, but different languages, different times.
The Bible was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls and a bunch of different areas. And there are books in the Bible that aren't in the Bible right now.
Facts.
That's why I don't believe in everything that's put out. You have to unlearn everything to really learn what it is. Because, like she said, if a person tells you this is truth, how do I know? You feel me? Like, I don't know what's truth unless I only know my truth.
You want to know a fact about truth?
What?
Every single human being right now that is on the earth that you can talk to about anything has only been here for the last 150 years. So, how long have people been doing things? A lot of years. So that means there is no real people alive who know what happened in 1800.
We have no idea.
People won't know what happened now in the future.
That's
It'll
why
be like,
No, they will know now. It's over.
I mean, they'll know.
It's over because of the digital age.
Yeah.
Now everything is recorded. Everything is.
But then again, what if all that stuff?
I said something wipes it out.
Yeah, it can't get wiped out though. On a deep level,
Yeah,
it can't get wiped out.
Everything
Let's hope
comes to an end.
I mean, like I love documenting, but it can't get wiped out.
Like calligraphy. Our kids ain't gonna know how to read none of them old letters.
Like,
they
don't know how to write pretty
like,
soon.
I was like, no, I taught my son. I'm like, oh no, like you're not even gonna be able to read the Constitution. Like you're not gonna
they don't teach them cursive no more.
No,
That's crazy.
They like wiping it. It's a lost, forgotten art, kind of like hieroglyphics. Nobody does that anymore. And it's like, so there is documents that a lot of these kids won't even know how to read.
And that's information.
Yeah.
But that's up to us to teach the youth.
Exactly.
And, you know, I feel like we're doing a good job because we're still learning ourselves. You know what I mean? It's got to keep seeking knowledge as we're doing. In the future, they'd be set. We're at that point right now. Like we're those OGs in a way. I ain't trying to say we old. You know what I mean? Like we're
I was called an OG the other day, and I accepted now. I was like, wait, elder? No, somebody called me an elder. I was
OGs.
Like, oh,
yeah.
It's a good compliment.
It's a great compliment.
And I was looking like, elder? What you talking
You're
about?
wise.
Yeah, I like being
OG. Elders are some of the most respected communities,
you
know.
That's a strong
Technology
word.
has come a long way since we were
we thinking like old.
Yeah,
that's an old. She said you old. That's one thing.
You could buy a computer in 2002 that was capable of saving 200 gigabytes, if that, maybe 100 gigabytes. Not even. I think I'm way high, 50 gigabytes in 2002. And now you can get a little card that has 256 gigabytes on. You take that card back to 1991, you will blow somebody's mind.
Like the little USB. They'll be like, whoa.
Right, look what I got.
Saves everything.
Like when I be carrying my terabyte thing for the external hard drive.
Blow their mind.
Yeah, back then, what? You have all that memory on that little box? Yeah. And back then we had those big ass computers, you know.
Yeah, the monitors.
But technology is going to go even faster, believe it or not.
And somebody said we are the last of the real breed.
I'm glad to hear that.
Here, taste some cloth. Taste some
We
cloth.
have a little prayer cloth.
Like you.
$29.99.
You got any more topics, brother?
Let's see.
Oh, I've got to put the past one in.
What? Oh, no, I'm not going there.
No, say it.
So, what about it, the whole debate with gender?
Ooh.
What about it?
That's a good topic.
Go ahead. You
What
got to go.
about-
I don't know what you mean. You got to go
Do
deep with
you
it.
feel as though your actual feelings affect your gender? Do you think your perspective or your anything that comes from your mind affects your gender, or is it genetic?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. If you tell me you're a woman, you're a woman. who am I to tell you any different?
That's
You feel me? Me personally, I'm not that type of person to give a fuck. I'm not gonna tell you what you are. If my daughter tells me, "Daddy, I'm a man," like you're a boy. So you feel me? Like I'm gonna correct you with certain things, but I'm not the one to go about telling who people is, how they is. I think people just want to belong to something, especially in our society.
Yep.
Is trying to fit in, you know, find people who we can share this together with. Oh, you're poly something, me too. So you just want to fit.
Tribalism.
Yeah, you want to be find your tribe instead of just existing and being and, you know, letting your energy carry to who your tribe is. You want to put a name on your tribe.
Ooh.
So
I kind of,
Yeah.
yep, that's where I'm at in a sense. I feel like it's both. I feel like because of how we work in the womb, like how chromosomes and stuff work, and how we're all women first, like technically.
Mhm.
So something can happen where it's like you feel it can happen late. You know, stuff happens inside of there.
Right,
So
right.
some cells probably didn't sync up, and you probably literally feel more on the inside like a woman, but you know your balls dropped. So like you get hermaphrodites. Like
Yeah.
I actually know somebody who is a hermaphrodite.
Really? Now, what is that
But
exactly?
they actually
They have
have
both.
both
Both
parts.
genitalia.
So
Okay.
this person
Crazy.
is actually identifying as a man, looks like a man, but can very real somebody can stick something in the cuckoo. But
Now,
it's a
go ahead.
you know, so
Okay.
to me it's a genetic thing. I feel like mentally you can be born because like for example, I went to church and this little boy I've known since he was born. At 4, I was like, oh, he's gonna be gay. He was only 4, but I'm like, oh, this little boy gay. And of
be saying
course
that
he
too.
was gay.
Yeah.
Like it was just like at 3 and 4, he did not make a decision and say, you know what, I am LBG. You know, he didn't even know what it was. He didn't know what men and women really
Yeah,
were at that
that's
time.
true.
But I knew that he was gay. Like I knew then. I feel like, and then like me personally being bi, I knew all my life I liked women. I knew all my life I liked men. I just knew what I liked
Right.
about how I felt. But do I identify as a woman? Yes, I'm glad I'm a woman. But if like he said, and I go back to that, a lot of people just want to fit in. We are in that age where it's like, you can say you Pan-African, you can be Christian, you can be this, you can be woke, you can be gay, straight, pansexual, bisexual,
That's a lot of
trisexual.
words.
There's
It's,
so many.
you know,
Right.
something to identify to. You want something to hold on to. So yes, I do think people are pandering. I don't like that. I think people are saying they're this just so they can have something to belong to, and a lot of people are, but some people literally are who they are, and I'm with him. If you are a woman, I'm going to do my best, and you look like a man. I'm going to respect you and say, hey, Sheila, even though you look like Carl, and I might mess
Yeah.
up.
A bunch of
I
times.
might forget.
Yeah, I might
Yeah.
forget, but I want you to know like that. I mess up with the they them thing.
Yeah, that's what be fucking
I
me
really
up.
mess up
Yeah.
that, and I feel bad when I do it. And me
It's
being
too
in the
much
theater.
it's just too much.
It is
though.
a lot. So I just respect people's wishes of what they want to be.
Right.
So like I'll work on it. I work at it. Like one of my friends prefers to be called they, them, instead of like her or he. But you can easily be like, girl. And I'm like, ugh. Because to them, like after you get their backstory, like they struggle their whole life with these identity issues and like not feeling like a girl and feeling like a boy, and they just didn't. So like let them call themselves they if that's gonna make them feel better.
My
Yeah.
question is,
Let people be who they
my
are.
thing is, somebody brought this idea to the table And once it was on the table, people started grabbing
It
it.
just kept running.
So what happened is I feel like what happened to tomboys and slightly effeminate men?
Hmm.
You could be gay, you could be a lesbian, you could do all your things, but why do you need others to now agree with this and to change their entire perspective on what girl and guy is for you to fit? Now, I understand that it's uncomfortable if you don't feel like a guy, if you're in a guy's body and you feel like a girl. I understand how that could be painful.
Yeah.
But you can't make people, you can't make others who don't feel that way, don't understand you, don't understand your struggle. You can't explain the struggle to every single person you run into so that they can understand your point and go, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to call you it now because it makes sense to me. But if you walk in a room and you're on a list and they're naming off people and they're like, okay, we're going to have her, and her go. That person has no idea who you are.
Right, so don't get all
Don't
upset.
be
So
offended.
now you're going to get this
Yeah.
person
I
fired
agree with
because they
that.
misgendered you. You know what I mean? When they had no idea, or you know what I mean? Every situation, I think when it's bled into making others judge. Now, if you want to be a guy and you want to dress like a girl, be a cross dresser, do
what
your
you do.
thing, do your thing. Look, whatever it is you like to do. But when it comes to others' opinions, that's where I'm like, male and female need to stay. Because if I go like this to your pants and go, okay, boy, okay, girl. That's very easy. And that's been that way since the beginning of human being kind. And I understand. That's where I feel like sexuality could be a spectrum. That makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, sexuality.
But when it comes to moving that to gender,
Then gender,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where.
That's why I said the gender part is where it's you want to.
That's where I'm kind of like you. I'm like, okay, I got a cuckoo, so I'm a girl.
you could be a manly
And then
girl
at
all
the-
you want.
Yeah, so that's where I'm like, okay, y'all doing too much. And then I feel you on I feel like the most people pushing the most is transgenders. I feel like transgender is like really pushing themselves onto people. And I feel like when you pushing yourself on somebody, you're not too secure in your own self.
That's why the rates of suicide and stuff don't go down, because helping these people is, I'm not trying to dog anyone or say anything is bad with anyone, but something as this mental issue is something that needs to be addressed as that. Not looked upon as, oh, just trying to be accepted of all people's mental issues. So pretty soon we're going to be having depressed people. We're going to have special classes for them where they can go be sad with other sad people. Like, come on now. Where are we going to draw the line and learn that something is not right? Or not that it's not right, but it's not correct. It's not healthy. Like, if you're in a guy's body and you were born a guy and your parents raised you a guy and your whole life you felt like a girl, I feel like that was one experience that rooted and seeded into multiple. And now that experience is bled into your entire being, this is something that's manifesting.
And it's going to
Yeah.
be with your parade.
It's divine masculine, divine feminine. That's all it
But
is.
I think
in the
everybody is
energy.
equally
And
both.
we are
Yeah, we're
both.
all, and that's what I'm saying. That's what
why
we all
it's-
have to
it's
agree.
really a problem
agree
of
on that.
trying to put a finger on yourself so much. I don't feel like a human being, just like I described, a human being goes from hell to heaven. You know, like they're the craziest thing to the nicest thing. So if you're into this or into that, whatever it is, let it be that way that day. Why does it need to have this finger on it? Like, I'm this. It is this.
All the
I do this.
We need a title.
I need
I
a title.
say- But it's
You
like
know?
just like a relationship. People have to know what we are.
Like, where we
Be
going?
like,
how
what
long
are
we'll
we
be
doing?
there.
Let you-
How-
I just met you 2 days ago.
but people don't know how to accept that.
Just you. If one day
Yeah.
if you're a gender fluid person, you don't need to be gender fluid. You could be Sarah. You could be a girl.
Then you don't have. That's where I'm like, okay, just be
Be.
who you are. Like, I
Like,
have
one
a
day
friend
you might
like
just be
that.
manly.
Like, you know, I have a friend
Just be.
who goes by her birth name, but she looks like a man, but she kept her name, and I'm like, you know what? I fuck with you.
Mhm.
It's like this is what my mom. You know, this is my name. It's been my name my whole life, but I look like this,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? Because basically at that point she wasn't really he wasn't trying to fit into this. He just like, I'm gonna be who I am.
Yeah, and I think that's where we
That's
kind
where
of
it all
just
boils down to. Be
draw the
yourself.
line at
Be
because you
yourself,
don't
like
have to
who you
point
like.
point it out.
You don't have to really explain it. I don't think you have to be overly explained. You don't have to explain who you are to people. Like, just be yourself.
That's what I say. When
Yeah.
it comes to all this stuff, trans, I don't know even the names for it.
It's a lot.
It's just love.
It's like 50.
Yeah.
Just do you and love
Just
you
do
and
yourself.
whatever you want to do. Just be upfront of a person. You meet somebody. You know, hey, I'm this. I like doing this. You know, I don't know.
And then as a
Just
group,
do you.
Why
Yeah.
you need to label something?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
No
Yeah,
labels.
labels.
Just
and then
be
we should
whatever
just have
you
a
are.
mutual
Just love.
respect. People should just respect what people want. Like if I want you to call me Boom Shika, just call me.
Just call me.
Hey, we got
Yeah.
Boom and Shika here
Yeah.
today.
But we gotta know you for that though.
Yeah, just so you can't just be like, hey,
You can't just
I
walk in the classroom, everybody. They them.
But you can now.
I mean, that's the
And
thing. You
can't
can.
sue.
You can't get sued for discrimination and all that
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
You can
Yeah.
now, baby.
they not fucking
They
around.
not.
You just gotta
that's the worst
accept it.
people to make
I
it
watched
just
a
go.
podcast with the heads of Twitter
Oh, it does.
talking about different subjects that they are going through about their political correctness and how they ban people versus they don't ban people. So, speaking on this topic, what do you believe that the liberal versus conservative argument is getting out of hand, or do you think it's in the place it should be?
That's why I gotta go. I love y'all. I'll be back.
What you need?
She gotta use it. It's time to handle things.
What you about to do?
She gotta do what she gotta do.
Oh.
All them
Oh,
calls.
okay. So back to the. So can you break that down? What that is? I don't know shit about the political world. And,
So, liberal versus conservative. What I would say is, the liberals are those Me Too. Liberal is what? Black Lives Matter. Liberal is versus conservative, which Trump supporter. I mean, I'm going to the extremes here, so everybody doesn't fit in these boxes. Okay,
All right.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just trying to show the far left or the far right, or Republican, right? You know, so you got. The argument that's being one of the main arguments that's being had right now is the world in the U.S. is leaning left heavily, which is what we were just talking about, which is the trans movement, the Me Too movement. All those movements are gaining
Left.
traction,
okay. Yeah.
great traction, and they're able to take and drag our community in their direction no matter what. Now,
You're right.
Christians
Yeah.
or conservative people in general are losing their voice in the media, and Joe Rogan specifically was pinpointing and targeting the Twitter, what are they? The executives of Twitter, to try and ask them why they lean left so hard, and they wouldn't admit anything.
I bet they wouldn't.
So I mean, you want to reference that, Jerry, but they.
That's true.
My question is, are you left or right? Are you conservative or are you liberal?
See, I missed the whole point of like what conservative or liberal is.
So conservative is far right, so that means Republican, Trump supporter. This is the far right. So you
Yeah.
can be conservative and not be a Trump supporter. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, conservative people, Christian.
You should
heavily
never say
Orthodox
Trump. That gave
Christian.
everybody the impression like,
Yeah.
oh, you said
Well,
Trump.
it just means very conservative people.
No.
Yes, nose up. They do everything correctly. They get their job. They go to college. You know, versus the liberals, which
I
are
must be a little conservative.
normally pink hair. You know,
Free.
the college students, the Me Too movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, the protesters, the people who are saying the world of man is holding us down. That's the left.
I'll say
That's the extreme left. So now
Yeah.
you can be left. I feel like I sit right kinda in the middle.
I was just about to say I've always been a walk in the gray. I don't want to say I'm 100% this because they can have valid points and it'll be like, well, I'm supposed to be over here. So I feel like every side always has a valid point. It's just agreeing on something, you know, instead of saying, no, we have to do it like this. And this side is always going to rebel. But why can't we just agree on something? Like we both feel the same way about this aspect. So let's head in this direction to tackle and succeed in this movement. You feel me? Because just like Black Lives Matter, white lives matter. Why can't we just both agree lives matter, you know, and walk together? You feel me? Why do you have to go against me when we're both trying to make a valid point? Yes, we're not saying your life doesn't matter. We're just saying ours do too. Can you agree with that? Yes, okay, we'll take our hands and let's do this shit. You feel me? So I'll never just be like, I'm conservative or liberal. I'm a great person because I see a need for everything.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick any one of those. If I was to pick one though,
Good.
I'm gonna give it 5 seconds till they sit down, folks.
I'm so sorry.
But until then, welcome to the Lavish Journey. This is the commercial break. We are sponsored here today by
Prevail liners for your weak bladder.
Okay, all right. Prevail Liners, please send us a check in mail via email. But I mean, conservative sounds cool because you know what? I do have conservative tendencies, if that makes sense. But liberals more my way. That's like it's like the hippie people. Yeah. If I was to pick one, I pick that one. Yeah, because I just believe in just hey, be free, do you. You know what I mean? The negativity, fuck that. You know, fuck fear and all that shit.
So, what about you?
And
I'm,
that's sure
I'm
that's right.
definitely a liberal. I was raised in a liberal household, so I've always had those views in my mind. So, and way more to the right. I'm the left.
So, what about abortion? Oh, he said abortion. So, do you believe in abortion or no?
Yeah, I've always believed in abortion. I feel like you can't tell somebody they can't have an abortion. I don't think anybody has the right to tell somebody what you can and can't
It's a
do.
very liberal belief.
I'm the same. Do you?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with everything. Like, do you? Basically, what he was saying before I came back is where I'm at in life. Period. Like, harmony is what we all need. We don't have to unite. I hate when I hate the unity speech. Yes, unite. We're never going to be united, front, because we're all different. Like, that's not really. All of us at this table
United, we
are
stand.
not going to stand united on everything. We got, 5, 6 different people in here. It's going to be completely different, but we all are in harmony that this podcast is dope.
Right.
Even though, like, we're not united in a lot of things, we just know that this podcast is dope, so we sit here in harmony. We can have a discussion. We can disagree. Blah, blah, blah. This is what is needed on all sides of life. Black, white, purple, green, liberal, rich, poor, whatever. Just be in harmony. Know that life is beautiful. Love is everything. Let people be them. Long as what you're doing is not harming somebody or causing them death or whatever it is, just do you. But power is a thing. And once you get that idea of different isms create this structure of power. So once you feel like, oh, this makes me more powerful than you, then harmony can't exist.
Right.
So that's where we are.
And once you get to that type of mindset, that means you're weak, for real.
You feel like you're God.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel
Like-
like you're a level of God.
I feel like abortion poses a bunch of other questions.
Yeah, that one.
Um,
I'm gonna say that's
yeah,
just,
it poses
that's-
the question. When does a human life start?
Yeah.
Does it start at the exiting of the phallus from the vagina, or does it start at But does it start at a few months after contraception? So, or like that's really the question you're asking if abortion, because if it starts too early, that's murder. If it doesn't, if it starts afterwards, most ancient cultures believed that a human wasn't really a person until they had a certain ceremony. So this is a newer belief to have people, you know what I mean, do what we do now. So they used to kill babies all the time in Roman days and stuff like that. It wasn't as important to them.
Off
do it
real.
now.
They do it now. Yeah, I said they do it now too. It's just not really. It's not promoted as much. That's the
So
word.
it really-
Advertised.
It really just begs the question: when does human life start, and how do I don't know if I necessarily am on side of it for me. Like I said, I can't choose for anyone else, and I guess I do believe that they should be able to choose because of those vital situations where abortion would be necessary. I think abortion should be one of those ditch efforts to save someone who is in a horrible situation,
Rape.
like rape,
Yep.
or like they got pregnant and they can't have a baby. Something will happen that will kill them or something like that. Those are situations where abortion should be 100% necessary. You don't want to have some man's baby who did that to you or anything like that. But when it comes to me and my boyfriend was doing it and I just don't know, condom broke, and can I get abortion? No. Get out.
But then the same thing, it's
I'd
like,
rather they get adoption because at least that person gets to live.
I was just gonna say, like, do you want that person to have some people just should, in my opinion, should not have kids.
Forced adoption.
But I was gonna say also, then how many people that's just gonna be escape route? Because you could keep having kids and be like,
then,
well, they just going to adoption
And I'm about to say with
agencies. You feel me?
adoption, like my family being
Are they
heavily
alive
with
though?
it.
Are they going to have a full life? Are
Yeah,
they gonna
but
be
just
so-
think
Will it
how
be
crooked
full?
are these adoption
Exactly,
agencies?
because like you got to think like, the Catholic charities are overwhelmed with children. It's like 2,500 kids in this Catholic
Whoa.
church just sitting there.
And they only
That's
want
little. I
babies.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and
They don't
some
want the
has
10-year-olds.
been there since birth, and they're like 15, and nobody's adopting a 15.
Yeah, and they got mental issues.
Whereas
adoption is rare, also.
Yeah, and especially now because you get paid to be a foster parent, so why not just collect a check? Just keep it all the way real. This is what people are doing. So, like, did that kid win because they lived? Now they got to live with the trauma of, oh, my mom gave me up. I've been in this group home for 15 years. Nobody wants me. And then I'm going to go to I'm going to get adopted, but this man is going to sodomize me. Great.
Or he could be dead.
Right. So, like, it's just like all up to...
It's really up to your perspective. That's a tough one.
It's like, what do you do?
I'm trying to bring up the toughest stuff.
But see, being dead, you didn't know, as an embryo, you didn't know you were alive. Like, come on now. You didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know. So I think it's just, like you said, it's all dependent on, it's too many variables to kind of say, like,
your belief, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's situations. Like you said, if you about to die, you really don't need to have this child. But then if you know, I can't support this baby, like, I'm abusive. I'm gonna beat this little nigga's ass every day. You feel me? It's parenting. There needs to be a class for parenting because people have to be broke into that. You have to be trained to be a parent.
Not everybody that's a parent is not suited to be a parent.
Yeah.
I've had to, like, literally, it's been so bad where I've been in Walmart and, like, this was like 3 weeks ago. I'm in Walmart and I'm standing behind this lady in line. It's her and her little son. And she is just cussing up a storm at her kid. The little boy asks the simplest question. He brings up and goes, "Can I have?" And she, "Did I tell your ass to pick that up? Go put that down, dog." And him, "You stupid, this dog." And he just... Now, that's going to get into that poor
that's
little boy.
That's his voice. Yeah, that's his inner voice now.
And that's going to be a part of... And I feel like really the parent is angry because of whatever they have to pay for, whatever they have to go through for the child.
It has nothing to do with the kid.
Yes, it has nothing to do with what that kid did. So now they have to deal with all of this mental trauma in the near future that their parent did to them, and their parent's not going to own up to that.
No.
And then really that'll help people grow so much if a parent were to own up to the trauma they put a child through.
Ooh, you know they ain't going to happen. They're not no boomers.
Yeah, right.
We did what we did.
We did what we had.
My grandpappy whipped my ass. I'm about to beat the shit out of your ass.
Do it work for me. I ain't dead.
I'm all right.
Yeah, but people can grow so much from just being good parents. Like they are like a small human having somebody to talk to or have somebody to be open with. That's like when I have kids, I want to have that relationship with my son or daughter where they could be like, come to me for the most sensitive, crazy question. And they know I'm just going to be like, oh, man, yeah, whatever, and we just going to have a conversation about it. It's not going to be no, oh, man, I'm going to have to talk to my dad.
Yeah, that's what as a parent, I would first say, like, there's no manual to being a parent. No. And then I became a parent, and I was pregnant at 19 and had him at 20. So, like, I grew up with my oldest son. Basically, we went through life together. And I went through a phase to where, like you was saying, the people in my family talk crazy. So you go to my family house, you gonna hear grandma, cousin, auntie Shirley, they talking crazy. So like, up until my son was 5, like I don't whoop him or anything. It took somebody I was dating to say, you know, why you talk to him like that? Like why did you say that like that? And I stopped. Until, if he would have never did that, I'd probably still be talking to my son the way I was talking to him. Like, you know, shut up and sit down. Why would you do that? I would still be there, but once he broke it down, I listened, like, played back what I was saying. I'm like, oh, this is what he's going to think about himself. Like, you know, so I have to, it's a lesson, like, you have to be taught. If you're not healed, then you can't expect, if I'm not healed, you can't expect my parenting to be like this, coming from this holistic place. You know, it's just not going to happen. So, unfortunately, the same with, that's why I say a lot of times we're harder on parents. If you think about it, they were growing up and healing with you. So, they didn't wake up one day, like, rarely do people say, hey, we're ready. We're going to have kids. That happens, especially in the Black community. Let's just be real. Yeah. So, you have, typically, it's like 2 people who really shouldn't even been together. They have a child, and then now one of them bitter. 9 times out of 10, mom bitter because daddy messing with Sheila. So all that energy is going to be projected onto these kids. So, like, you got to think, so until she heals from that to see and admit and blah, 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 the child is, and it's just going to be affected by it. It just is what it is, and that's where we get generational curses. And that's up to us to break it, to see it, and then acting to change it. That's the only thing that's going to work. And then also when you see it in others, to try to actively help them. Like, it literally takes a village. I hate when people get online and they dog, like, oh, she ain't shit, mother, this girl do this and this. I said, so what did you do to help her? Because maybe this is all she know. Right. If you saw her on 55th and Skullwood, she probably grew up there her whole life. So did you not say, hey, baby, you know, this is, give her an option of something better? Because obviously them four, that's all she knows is these bricks. This is what she taught. This is how she raised. So instead of criticizing people for being bad parents, like, what are you doing to show them that it's better? Because some of us have no clue. No idea.
As long as they listen.
True. Now, if they don't, everybody can't go. Like, even every entity tell you that. Like, the Bible tell you 144,000. Everybody can't. The path is always narrow. So you're not going to beat yourself till you blue in the face. But 9 times, like, most people really, it's like cries out for helps. Like, a lot of people want it to be better, but they don't know how because it's all they know. They're addicted to the pain. And literally, people don't know how. It's no hope. And that go back to what you were saying. We're in different countries and cultures. They speak life. They breathe life. We don't talk about things, especially men, because you just know that you're about to get talked about, beat up, called this, called that. So you leave it in and you're not, that's what make you not receptive. But if somebody's coming to you saying, hey, bro, I got you, then you're going to see like, oh, it's going to be a release. Like, I can, get this off. That's what we need more of from everybody. Yeah. And then now to help it out instead of just like beating these people into the ground, because at the end of the day, I only know what I saw, what I'm taught. I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know. A lot of people don't readily seek knowledge.
Yeah. That's what really needs to be taught.
True.
That's the difficult thing to teach you. That has to be something like what I was saying about seeding when in the beginning when your son asks you a question, inquire. That teaches him by default, not by him, you telling him, go search it up. Because then you're inputting something that is wrong. But if you ask him why and he goes and searches it up on his own, that's going to be a trend that continues. Now he got that trend in that when something happens, he's going to be like, I don't know what that is, or I don't know why that happened to me. Let me go find it. Instead of like what we've all done in the past is just stuff it down. Something happens to you, you're like, you stuff it down and you move on. You don't ever stop to think, did that happen to me for a reason? I was doing this, and making those connections, which helps it not happen again. No, we just run away.
Learn.
You gotta find
that running away. Yeah, we do that.
You can't run away, man.
Because you're gonna keep running back into yourself.
Karmic cycle.
It all goes back to you. Like, everything in life, ask yourself, what does it have to do with you? It's all a lesson for you, and if you keep running, you're going to continue to run into yourself. You're going to keep meeting the same problem. It's like that song, Same Stranger, how people had these same date. They keep dating the same guy because you're refusing to learn lessons. So, all y'all look different, but I'm going to keep running to you, and y'all all the same personality type because I refuse to wake up and learn a lesson. Different. You have to do it. Like, with change, you have to, if you want change, something has to change. You can't expect change doing the same thing. Like, you
do the work.
That's the definition of insanity.
Yeah, so it's just like
repeating an activity, expecting a different outcome.
Everything is about, learning It's hard. It's really hard to change. It's hard to learn. It's hard to heal. It's not easy to heal. That's why I say it's easier to hate and be miserable. It's easy to be miserable. It's easy for me to be walking around like a grandpa all day. It's easy for me to be like, oh, I don't like any of these people. Everybody. It's easy for me. It's hard for me to look at myself and say, you know what? You messed up. You need to fix this. It's hard to learn a new pattern. Take days, weeks, months. It's easy to start when I could start smoking crack right now. But if stop, that's a whole nother, you get what I mean?
You can start doing what? A little bit of humor.
But no, for real, like, I could just easily be like, let me go pick up this pipe and I'm about to start it. It's easy for me to start a bad habit. Bad habits are easy to keep. But like good habits, you have to put work in to create healthy habits. Even though you know that it's healthy, it's easy to be destructive. Yeah, it's easy to be like, I'm going to eat this cake all day. It's good as fuck. Then you like put a spinach salad in front of me. I'm like, it'll take me 3 weeks to eat this. You kind of, even though you know that's going to be beneficial, it's just how things are. So it takes time, and we would rather not. We would rather run from it and hope that it's over. And in this day and age, we numb ourselves with everything. And we got so many dopamine releases too, like social media.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, so it's like we find it and
Dopamine.
we can get it anywhere.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so
Porn is a
we
dopamine.
just
right
got
there.
no. Dude, I learned that the dopamine system in a human being is what the dopaminergic system is what drives us to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wake up, you get out of bed, and you're like, all right, now what? The dopamine comes in and goes. Your system looks and goes, okay, what's going to give me the nicest squirt of dopamine around me? That. Let's do that. That's a nice squirt. It goes, psh, give you a little dopamine. You get up and you go pick it up and you're looking at whatever it is and you're like, yeah, all right, I'm going to go ahead downstairs and keep working. Hitting you with that dopamine. And what happens is people lose track of that. Everything provides dopamine. So our little cell phone devices that we carry around all day are dopamine, just shoving it down your throat. So now when you're at work or you're doing your normal menial annoying task or whatever it is that you have to do on a daily basis,
phone, baby.
the person, you'll catch them doing this. They're doing it and then they're check their phone.
It's an
They're
addiction.
doing it and then they're check their, and then you can call people out on dopamine addiction, but dopamine is the hidden heroin.
Yeah.
Because if you call someone on their dopamine addiction, they go and they laugh at you because it's unrealistic to them that they are actually
I'm not
addicted.
addicted to this phone. I can put it down like they can.
No,
I
and
am.
that's everything: porn,
All
All
God,
of it.
phones, television, drugs.
That's the addiction.
But look, we
We're
all
addicted to
have
dopamine.
addiction, though, believe it or not. Everybody in this whole
Every
world has
single
it.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single person.
It's all about what you want to be addicted to.
Dopamine
Exactly.
is the
What you
addiction.
want
There
to
you
addicted
go.
to.
It's
That's the
what
key.
you choose to be addicted to. Some people are addicted to work, and those are the people that we all talk about. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Those people are like, man, they wake up and they would be a crack addict in work if you were to sit next to them. They're just like, I gotta get to work, man. And you're like, dude,
Yeah,
I
know
just
people
want
like
to
that.
chill. Get up. I can't. Try and hold Elon Musk in the
Smoke some
house for a
kush,
day.
bro.
Yeah. Oh, that nigga
That man
doing it.
owns 3 multi-million-dollar businesses. He got shit to do. Okay?
Yeah.
He cannot be on his ass worried about his phone or any of these things that we all just seem to think are just very important.
And that's his addiction.
And that's his addiction.
And I'm starting to learn that with life, such a manifestation back to that. Like, I'm addicted to, bettering myself with media and traveling, all this stuff. And it's becoming my life. Yeah, you see what I mean? So, I don't know. Addiction can be a good thing, though, in a good way.
It's good to be addicted to self-improvement.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to be addicted to, because that means that, like, I would say I'm addicted to random stuff, knowledge. Like, as in, like, I'll sit and, like, run into, like, an area in psychology and be like, what is that?
Yeah.
And now I'm watching 7 hours on a stupid topic, which probably won't even pertain to anything in my
I was
life,
gonna
but
say
I just,
something about
I have a thirst for that type of stuff.
Hey, well, as long as you do, though, I find if it fuels you in some type of way, like, you know what I mean, that energy, follow it. All stuff will follow that thrill, follow that energy.
So where do you all
that's
get
testy.
y'all?
I'm addicted to a lot of
I
stuff.
was about to say, where do you all get y'all dopamine rushes from?
Ooh, definitely Facebook, sex, porn.
Deal.
I'm addicted to like putting people on, in a sense. Like, I think I'm addicted to like creating things that help people be like, oh, I'm realizing my dream. I'm addicted to, it's a rush for me. So like if I open the underground, I'm addicted to like this being something for somebody else, or like starting a band, and then my bandmates want to say like, oh, I always wanted to be in the band. Like, I'm addicted to being the start of something for somebody else.
Making people's dreams come true.
Yeah, like I'm absolutely, I get high strong.
Justin's good on that one too.
Yeah.
That's one of Justin's addictions. Like I noticed that about him when we were going to do podcasts at the very beginning of this movement. This man got so much joy from just watching other people talk about what they found important to them.
Yeah, I like that.
And
about
he'll
him, too.
just hype it. He'll just be sitting there like, what else? And you could do it, man.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
else?
I love
And
him
he's
for
just
that.
getting the high off the person just talking
Yeah,
about
it can make
Yeah.
you feel good. They're like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. That's just fun, man. I like people. I like push people greatness. Out.
Yeah, I love that about him.
Yeah, that's. What about you, Josh?
I love food.
Me too. You see, now me and him could kick it, baby. I tell you.
What you need?
The fat, I broke it finally.
Oh, you need a whole nother. Oh, I don't even have that charger. Sorry.
It's a sad
Type
day
C.
on the podcast.
Sorry, it's okay. We about to end soon. We had 2 hours.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So what about you, bro?
Food, music, man, something like that.
Oh, music, man.
I love finding new music. That's my favorite thing
the
on
shit.
Spotify.
That's my shit.
Discover
Finding
Weekly,
new
man.
music,
Discover
yeah,
Weekly.
man.
So
Just
what's
be
the top
tuning
artist you
on.
listen to?
I've been listening to a lot of EDM lately.
Ooh, man,
Yeah,
that
like-
energy from that shit.
Yeah, it's pushing that.
Yeah.
You got me hit. What's that dude? Schwim?
Shem.
Yeah.
SH?M is the name. You spell it on YouTube or Skeller.
Oh, my
Look up
God.
those two artists. You're mine.
You know, when kind of music EDM, I got that shit from you, bro. He's listening to EDM back in high school. I'd be in the car like, what the fuck he listening to? You know, everybody listen to Gucci, man. He like, hey, let's play this. Oh, he play his shit because, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? And then years later, went to college, went to a concert, EDM concert. And I was like, wow. Now I see what he
get it.
means.
Yeah.
The energy of the music is like,
Just so much more. A lot. I feel like. No, I'm not hating on rap. I think rap is great. I listen to rap all the
hey,
time.
you just said, man.
But what I'm saying is that other types of music bring different types of energy.
That's true.
Okay, you're not gonna listen to Future and want to go to a club and be like, yeah, like with that same energy, that EDM, like that heartbeat of the tempo of the music. So dudes.
Just like techno?
Yeah.
Okay.
So verse
I'm
that's
old,
gonna
sorry.
create a different energy than boom boom clap, boom 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 clack like rap. So now then you have another style where you'll have like a witch house or something like that, which uses like abstract tones. So it's like lots of reverb, and it creates this very spatial vibe where you feel like you're floating in outer space.
Oh,
You're
which
not gonna get
which
that
what?
from Future. You know what I mean? But what?
What was it called? Which
Witch
house?
House.
I gotta
Witch
listen to that while I'm on the trip.
Garage house, you could also call it.
Garage house. Okay.
These are things that like are just genres that people don't normally listen to. Vapor trap. Vapor trap is really good if you like trap music, like rap, but it's basically removing the lyrics and putting a more spatial, dreamy tone onto it all. So it's still got
I'm
that
in
hood
the-
jump, but it's got those tones too.
Afro beats right now.
Yeah.
I've been finding some Taywar, that dude raw.
You gotta give me
Afro,
hip.
hang on, you said
I played
Afro
some.
beats?
Yeah,
Afro
I played
beats.
some.
You said
Text
vapor trap and what else?
Afro
I got
beats.
Witch
messages.
house.
Witch house. I'm looking stuff up later on tonight.
Yeah, message that to me, cause I ain't gonna. my
Yeah,
phone.
'cause I know I was going. Okay, I got you.
Those are great genres that I listen to pretty much every day. I don't listen to. I try to remove worded music from my genre of daily listening to because of what we spoke of. Your daily
Your
diet.
subconscious, yeah.
I don't want fucking hoes or anything weird
Yeah,
to
I
get
don't-
into my brain.
yeah.
I
deep.
do. I ain't gonna lie, I do. I'm like,
She about to
I
listen
feel
to some
it.
Future right
Yeah,
now.
I'm like,
Shit,
no, man.
I did that immediately.
Sometimes you need to know. Sometimes
Amen.
Turn that Future.
Go ahead, past
On
the.
a daily,
Not on a
I like for my brain to roam when I listen to music.
I'm the
I don't
same.
want to be on a wave because somebody is saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Like-
know.
Try
I like-
Henry Green. Henry Green, he's really
Who was
good.
Henry Green?
I'll play a song after the podcast.
Yeah,
He
and
has
then
a
I
nice
don't know.
voice.
I like
Shout out to
music
Henry
like
Green.
new school jazz. I'm definitely R&B, soul, and I listen to binaural beats a lot,
Oh yeah, get you sleeping.
heavily,
Get you
and,
sleep.
throughout the day. But yeah, I love music. Moonchild is my go-to right now. Every time I take shrooms, I listen to Moonchild, and they take me to another place. And if you watch their videos while you're doing it, whew. And then the messaging they have, like they play, I know that they trip. You could just tell, like
You could
now
feel the vibe
before I tripped, I didn't know. I listened to them before, and so I feel like I got a relationship with them now because I'm like, oh,
You guys are on the same shit.
yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, I'm like,
MGMT.
Yep.
oh yeah,
Who's
Like
that?
MGMT Electric Feel.
Oh, yeah.
That you knew they was
Yeah.
tripping when
You
they
like-
made that song. Like,
Electric feel.
oh man,
Then look at
you
the
just want to be in the
videos.
forest.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like, all right.
Even with like people like Radiohead and back in the day, like Jimi Hendrix and all them. If you listen to that while you tripping, you be like, oh, y'all was loading up. Y'all was yeah.
It was tapped in.
Yeah,
they
y'all
was
was-
tapped in. They were like,
Now I'm
yup.
like, ah.
So do you
the
feel,
universe.
from a psychedelic perspective, you feel like you're your most creative when you're on psychedelics?
I would say no. I had like I be too through to like be because you know I paint. So I try I have this one canvas that every time I trip I take it with me and I'm to paint on. This is what I'm supposed to do. See what I come out of it. And yeah, I wouldn't say I'm creative.
Mhm.
But if I'm low dosing, yes.
Oh,
Like
okay.
when I low dose, like when I perform,
Mhm.
I like performed at my best.
That's what you were saying before the show.
It's like I'm not thinking about the note. You know, I'm not. It's no thought. I'm like, I
Right.
know I got this, and I know this is
I'm
about
in here.
to. Yeah.
Come listen.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. But like to be like tripped out.
Not geeked, like
yeah.
peaking.
Yeah.
Really?
It's
I feel like I get a lot of
impossible.
answers when I'm
I'm about to
that. I
say.
get a lot of answers.
I'm
I do
looking
too.
inward. Like
Me too.
I feel like I'm here up here, but then it shoots to go in.
Yep.
Like I was I took some acid or tabs yesterday. You feel me? And Nyla was driving us a Giant Eagle, and I just sat and I just connected with the sun immediately. And I just felt the energy from, well, I call the sun Ra. I'm like, I just felt Ra connecting, like you're evolving, you know, within your spirit, like you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing.
It's the sun guy.
Yeah.
You get the
and then,
same message a lot.
and but it was
dope.
just a visual at that point, and then it was just like a snap out, like whoa shit, and I'm like, yo, I just got a message from the sun. You feel me? Like, and
I
then
love
like,
that.
all right, you know,
You got a trip to understand that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, if
You
somebody
do.
else would get it, because like the constant voice that was telling me to fight.
Mhm.
As I was at a point where I was just like, you know, fuck all this shit. But someone kept saying fight, like a literal voice, fight. And then she started going to the beat, fight. I'm like, okay, this is a song. But I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
this is telling me to keep going, keep
Yeah.
fighting. And then those messages be dope. Like the last time, just recently, although it was a body, like I felt it in my body. It was like sensational. It felt so good. Like in my in my mind, I'm like, I need to detox. Like I literally felt the crap inside of me. Like I literally was like almost nauseous with what I had
That's what
inside
they
of me.
do. They bring it up.
Yeah, all that eating and all that, and I'm just like, I can feel it. This last time, I could just feel the excess toxins in my body. I felt my liver almost like I was like, okay, Sade, you need, like, today I didn't eat anything, I just drank water and like barely. I'm like, I need to go on a cleanse. Like it kept telling me detox. So I'm like, okay, Sade, get it together. But I felt it, like I felt the inside of my body being like, I'm doing too much.
And like he was saying earlier, when it comes to weed, how things just start connecting using more parts of your brain. That's why I smoke, but it's very light. I take 2 hits and I'm good.
Yeah,
You
that's
feel me?
right.
Like,
I'm cool.
yeah, like I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't need much, but there's just a different part of me that starts. I just feel my brain clicking. It's just like, all right, the motors are running, but that's when I'm creative, is smoking weed. You feel me?
Yeah.
Shrooms is a go within creative, but it's looking at self. You know, you have to delve in. But weed is that, all right,
Yeah.
it's time to get into your creative director mode.
same.
So
I thought LSD can get me creative though.
it gives me the
I thought-
thoughts, but I
yeah.
can't like.
Oh, I know
can't
what you're
do-
saying.
I can't
You
do
can't
it.
cognitively not do it.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
like,
I would try that though.
yeah.
Or maybe it's
I
after.
experience
Afterwards, yeah.
I'll do
Like how she
a
probably
psychedelic, and
Mhm.
I experience what I would call waves of
Hold on.
possible creativity, being able to do it. So like if I do acid or sorry, tabs, then you'll be like,
I'm just saying.
yeah, then you'll be like, it'll start and I'm like just trippy, and it's just like, this is great, but somebody's like, dance, and I'm like, I can't move.
Mhm.
I couldn't get up, and I don't know, it's weird. And then later on, we'll be like, let's go grab something to eat, and I'll be in the kitchen while the food is cooking, like Millie rocking in the spot. You know what I mean?
That's not
It's
good.
that way when you're
Yes.
just doing.
Yes,
It's when you do.
But that moment
That's what it
Mhm.
is the clearest, most crystal dance I've ever had. Like I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Mhm.
Like it's like I'm dance god. But
Yeah.
then like when I get sober, I can actually take those insights that I
Mhm.
got during those few moments of dancing. Like the one I just said, where like the tutting, it showed I could see the like individual like lights. It was like dark light spots in the sky. I can't even describe it, but like I could move my arm along them, and I'm like, wow. So and I moved that concept to, now I can't see that, of course, while I'm sitting right here. But the same concept that those lights were going in, I can still take that stuff and use it in actual reality, and everything works like that. Like I had a epiphany about existence one time standing outside of my garage
I've had
watching the
plenty
rain.
of those. Yeah.
Like we're like, let's go smoke a cig, and he's like, yeah, man. And we go downstairs and we're like in the garage and it's pouring rain and he's like, bro, you ever noticed that your street doesn't even seem that long? And I just looked and I saw the trees and everything just kind of collapsed. And I was just like, space is not real, bro. Like, I went off the deep end.
Yeah.
But that's what kicked me into learning what I was telling y'all earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That trip made me feel like this stuff that I'm thinking is just normal is around me. It's not just sitting here. It's malleable because on shrooms things breathe.
Everything.
So if you're in a room like this, you're seeing the walls going, whoa, whoa.
Life is a living
You
thing,
see
man.
how the
For real.
vibrations
That's what I
coming
get out of all
off
my
of it.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm connected to all of it is alive. Like, it was,
Life is a living thing.
It's beautiful.
Everything.
Life is beautiful.
Man.
Like
Oh.
you just appreciate shit. You just like, man, this shit.
this
you-
wall.
Water.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just be sitting there like, man, this is great. Like, don't even be doing shit. Yeah.
It brings out that childlike energy.
There
in
you
us.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like times 10 though. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, your inner child, like, let's go explore.
But, you know, I took
You
a lot
found
of it
the
with me to
intuition.
reality. You know, sometimes they say you can't take stuff happening in Shroomland into reality. I have
Shit.
though. Yes, I
I'm
have.
about to say,
A
yeah.
little
Yeah.
But if you actually felt it like you felt it when you were on the trip, it doesn't feel as powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I
Because
don't
now you're in
expect
reality.
that.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like,
you can remember it. It's like I was
Yeah.
on a roller coaster and I got off, and you're like telling somebody,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, dude, I was at the top." Yeah, you remember it, but
yeah, but it's
it's
not
not like
the same.
when you were actually up there.
Yeah,
I
you're
have
just
to
like,
ask you
yeah.
since y'all
cool.
experienced it. Have y'all tripped and looked in the mirror and really fucked yourself up?
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
What? I had fun with
Listen,
that. That was,
I don't
it's
believe
trippy.
in bad trips,
Uh-huh.
but I went to the bathroom. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I looked at myself, and it was just like, I really was looking at myself, and I'm like, you gotta do better. Like, I was like scalding myself in this mirror. Then I Googled it and stuff, and I'm like, oh, they tell you not to really do this.
Yeah, don't be-
I did it, and I loved it. I did it
And
for
I'm
30
like,
minutes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like, one time I did it, and I was fine. I'm like, girl, but that last time, like, Sade, get it together, and I started to look crazy. It's like I really saw like how dehydrated I was. Like, it was deep, and it was
Right.
like, get your shit together. And I'm like, oh,
People should do that. I don't know why they recommend don't do that. No, you need to. We need that. We
Yeah.
need to look in our inner self. Stop
Yeah.
running from just look.
It's that
When I
wake
look
up
at my-
call,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah,
fire
it
up
hit
under
me
your
out.
eyes.
Yeah.
Like, come on, motherfucker. You
yeah.
like, you
I
know
was
what you're
telling
supposed to be
myself,
doing.
That's exactly what
Cut
I
that
was.
shit out.
Yeah,
And
that's
you be
it.
like, ah.
Yeah, stop.
Water. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, no.
Actually, that's how I felt yesterday because I haven't
recommend
been
doing that.
stretching or doing my yoga, and I felt my body like, ooh, everywhere. And it was like, we've been telling
We've been
you.
trying to tell you.
I've been
Yeah.
telling you to do this yoga, put
That's
in your
exactly where my
routine,
body
now
was
do
at.
it. And I did it last night.
That's
I was
right.
just,
Like, all right.
yeah, I was like, all right, I got to just start this routine
Yeah.
right now.
Why do we bullshit our own selves though? You ever think about that on a deep level? At the end of the day, it's still ourself. We
Yeah.
we still bullshit ourselves.
Ain't that
Like,
crazy?
Yeah.
You
We
don't
bullshit
have as
ourselves
much
the worst.
control over yourself as you think you do.
I mean, I get that, but we bullshit ourselves too much.
I
Though.
feel like we do it
Distractions,
the most.
too.
Like, yeah, we actually harm ourselves the most. We do more harm than good. Like, we do everything we know that's bad.
Follow that dopamine.
Yeah, that's
I
what
was
it
say
Dopamine
distractions.
Boom.
Yeah.
If
So
the
it's
dopamine
like-
has no idea what
What
positive
it-
and negative is.
all it
It
knows
just
is high.
knows
To do.
energy.
Yeah.
So if somebody screaming at you hits you in the face with this large impulse of energy, and you're screaming back, and you're high in energy, and all these chemicals are running in your blood, that's the
Yep.
same as having sex to your body.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
So
Great
it's like
feeling.
now that person is like there's lingering emotions. So if somebody argues with you, like let's say you get an argument with her right there, and then you come to talk to me, and I'm like, hey Zaire, you
you
want to
like-
Yeah, I'm coming
dude,
over.
get away from me.
I'm like, what's up?
Somebody needs some pussy.
Whoa.
Like, damn, nigga. Like, all right.
I just got here.
Just got some,
like, okay.
you know, some relaxation.
Yeah.
that shit is like, powerful, man.
Yeah, it is. That dope.
That's
That's
true.
But like me for shrooms, like I've looked at myself in the mirror during shrooms, and I like get caught in like this, what I would call like continuum of my own pupils. Like they're so big, and I'm looking at them, and
I did.
I don't feel anything. Like when I see myself in the mirror, special like others. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I just don't. I see myself, but I see like this continuum in my eyes, and I'm like, who's in there? And I'm like,
I'm
that's
trying
me.
to trip like this.
And I'm like
He
trying
be
to
gone.
like.
He go.
And next thing I know, I've been standing there for like 8 minutes, like,
I understand what you're
And then I
talking
step back and I'm like, whoa,
So that's
let's
what
get
you
away
was
from this
talking
mirror.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you
what
be-
he
you
said.
be-
He was there
you
for
be
30
deep into
minutes.
it. Yeah, I be there for 30 minutes, bro, in the bathroom.
Just
Having a good time.
back and forth. Like,
He said, having a good time.
Because I liked it. I don't know. I saw
Man.
I saw negatives. I saw positives. You know, I really know how to balance both aspects in life. And I saw like, okay, look how you look. Okay, you need to work on this. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that was a good
it
trip for
matters
me.
to how secure you are in yourself.
True.
and
Yeah.
Your experience in the mirror.
It just show you, cause like it just broke me down. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, and then I just saw like it's like I literally saw my dehydration. Like that, my trips be like I
Drink some damn
see
water.
it. I be like, ooh, and I'm just looking at my skin. I'm like, girl, and myself was telling myself like, you need to get it together. You know what you need to do. It was like telling me like, hey, and then I'll come back and be like, oh, okay.
See?
It was like, so I didn't see it as a bad thing. It was like my subconscious mind or my body telling me like, hey, you're going over the edge now. Drink a little water. Stop drinking that. Balance the liquor with the water, Sade.
Balance the liquor. I feel it. But no, water is actually a big part on our bodies, though, y'all.
Yeah.
How we look and how we feel.
70-some
Energy.
percent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important.
I
Get
drink
your alkaline water.
alkaline. What is, oh, that's the super clear water. I hate to sound stupid, but you know what I mean. Is that
Oh
what
yeah,
it,
I mean it's
Like
it's
the-
what rocks isn't it the minerals from rocks?
Minerals
added.
From rocks.
It's minerals added.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But does this have minerals added though?
Yeah,
Nah.
probably. Most tap, most bottled water.
This,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
right
right
here.
with minerals.
That's crazy, man. So we got the in and off topics. We've been on air for 2 hours, my family.
Oh, I'm done. This was
I
good.
could come up with, you know, I can do that.
I was just gonna say, as like, what was one of the most enlightening experiences with either weed? Was it alcohol that made you change the aspect about yourself? Shrooms. I mean, some people learn. I've
For
learned.
real.
I stopped drinking once I had my blackout. Once
I
I
was about to say,
crossfaded,
I've
and I was
learned
like,
some
I'm
lessons
done.
the hard way on
Yeah.
alcohol. Like, why was I fucking with him?
Yeah.
No more tequila. But yeah, the biggest lesson I got, honestly, tripping was that, you know, just to be thankful for the little things. And I kind of saw like my place, like my purpose, like just gratefulness is what I got from my trips. The biggest one I got is just to be grateful to even be existing on this plane.
Yeah.
The power, I saw the power of myself, my flesh, and connectivity to everything. And that was a lesson for me to just take everything like one day at a time, left foot, right foot, you know, one day at a time. Just don't think I feel like I was dwelling too much on the bullshit before shrooms, and now it's just like time is a construct. You know, deal with yourself. You're one with the universe. You are the universe. God's within you. You're great. That's where I got. Now I can look at stuff and I think I'm more positive, honestly.
Yeah.
What's deep, yeah.
I would say, for me, I had a realization that it was my second trip, which was probably the strongest trip, which was like I definitely overdid it. Had no idea what I was doing, but I overdid it. Me and one of my buddies, Dom, but we sat and he had a horrible trip this trip. He overdid it. We both overdid it, but he didn't handle it very well in that situation. But trying to help him in a moment, I was like, hey, let's go outside and like we'll just, you know, I mean, hang out and we'll relax, because he was like, I need to get out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he set himself up wrong just because of the situation. But either way, I got outside and I just had this huge. When I got outside, I opened the door, and I don't know why I just did this, but I opened the door and I felt the gust of air hit my face, and I felt myself get cold, and I was like, and for once, I can't even describe this. I felt like I was corporeal. Like I started looking down at my hands, and I'm like, dude, I'm really here. Like if something happens to me, that's it. Like if I walk out this door and like slip and fall and I crack this is the only left arm I have. And like I feel like that's never really been a reality, because we've always been us. We've always seen out of these eyes. So it's not like you ever have taken the perspective to feel like yourself from an outside perspective, like I see you right now. You get what I mean? But like that was the first time I opened the door and I felt that wind, and I was just like, whoa. And like for like a whole 5 minutes, I'm like, and he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing, man. I don't know whether it was watching him go through that experience and trying to console him. Then when he calmed down, we got outside. That just pushed me into it. Like I was already heightened in anxiety from helping him, and then when it wore off, it pushed me in another state or something. I don't know, but I was just like, we have these fingers, man, and then, like that stuff sounds so trippy and high when you say it to a sober person.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But when you are tripping and you really understand what I mean by like, wow, you have a bone with this little flesh, and then this, and then I can feel it on the inside.
Yeah.
And the fact you could just move it at
Yeah,
will.
you be like-
You be like, I can just move stuff.
And why
but
is it just
doing
this that moves in the way? Like, who
Yeah.
designed this?
Yeah.
This is all
Yeah.
stuff that we ignore. Like,
Yeah,
oh, this is
those
just that's
minutes.
how
The
it
little
is.
things,
The
I'm
middle.
telling you, the little things. So I'm
And-
sure you
and
to be
telling
grateful
you.
for it all, like all of it. And I love it.
What about you?
Probably the most intense thing I've ever experienced when I tripped was I tripped so hard one time I felt like I was talking to whatever the creator, God, whatever you want to call it is.
Oh, Jesus.
You
What did
know,
you
like-
take?
I took like 3 hits. And
Oh, man.
I was seeing rainbows and just, I was not hearing voices. Like, I don't know if it's my conscience, but I was hearing everything I was destined to do in life. And, like, and like it was telling me, like, you know how you get like a million thoughts rushing in your head at once, and like you can figure out this, that, and that right then and there. Whatever that was, I can't explain it. I can't.
I know what you're
That's
talking
like-
about. We
like-
get all the answers, man. I know.
It's-
Yeah.
Did you remember what was said?
Like when I came out of that,
yeah,
I was a completely changed man. Like it,
that sounded like
It-
when you was telling me yours.
and it was this was just the week before I went to college, and like
Yeah.
it was like right after we graduated high school and stuff. So that was like a really like huge impact in my life,
Yeah.
you know. So like it was just like you're about to leave, go to this new city, do these new beginnings and stuff. You're about to like meet new people, and it was just like, this is who you are. Don't forget who you are. Take this knowledge. It was crazy. I just
That's dope. That sounds
Shout out to your,
Yeah,
to your
that's dope.
ancestors, to
Yeah.
your
and it was
guys,
so
to you.
powerful. I'm
Yeah.
kind of scared to go back and trip like that ever again.
That's how mine was.
You know, like-
I said it was my awakening.
Yeah,
'Cause that's how
Yeah.
mine was. It was just like this is who you are, and
Right.
I was being tested. You feel me? Cause mine, I didn't mean to cut you off
you're
or
good.
anything, but I was in Atlanta and I did acid hella times, so it was just like we about to go out here and kick it, and so I took mine, and everything's cool, you know. I'm like, ooh, it's starting to happen. I'm like, all right, we going to this place. It's called the Maze, and shit was just different in that bitch. I'm like, it's something more to this game, because it was like one part that had all these clocks along the wall, and you had to figure out how to escape from this room and get to another room. But I'm like, it's something more with these clocks, because a fucking rat just fell out and now this door open. But I'm like, what's all this other stuff? And then it just switched, and then there's like these chalk paintings of spaceships and shit. I'm like, you know, I know I ain't tripping this fucking hard. You feel me? And I'm wiping it off the walls. And so I'm like, all right, well, there's 3 doors here, present, past, future. I'm like, that'd be dope if like you walk through this shit and you're really in the past, present, or present. You know, you're just walking outside, or your future. And so I get to doing different stuff, and they're giving me signals on the TV like you're actually tapping into something most people ignore. They was like, keep it going. And I'm like, oh, sweet. So I just it was these 3 dials. I'm messing with them. I'm like, these look like the clock hands. You know, there's 3 dials. I'm like, maybe one of these clocks match up to the little dials on these doors. And so I'm figuring it out, and they giving me clues and stuff. And I'm
Are you
like,
tripping during this?
yeah, I'm tripping
That's
right
what I'm
there.
thinking, like, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
But it
I've been a
wouldn't.
vegetable in
Yeah.
there.
You'd have been too much fun, though. I don't know, they're like,
But see, my mind frame went to a different mode.
Yeah.
It went to like this investigator mode.
I
And
would have been through.
I was. And so then I was just kind of like, you know, I don't want to go to no past or future. You feel me? I'm like, I'm kind of cool where I'm at. I got my daughter. And just real life shit started happening and playing. And so it just shut off. Everything was like, all right, time limit's up. Y'all done. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, I should have kept on going then. And so I'm walking outside. They're telling me, you know, go here, go there. And so then my trip just like it just shoots up. And I'm like all the way up here now. And I can't control my body anymore. And so it's scaring me because it's like consciously I'm here. But my body is operating on its own accord.
You're behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just, it terrified me. But then I'm in the bathroom, I'm messing with these, the sinks. and they was like, you're chosen, but within your own space. They were like, but we have to know you're gonna use your power for the right causes. And they were like, well, how do you feel in life? And like how he said, you don't know who's talking to you, but there's voices that you just hear and you know. And then I clicked back in my body, and then it was like, so what do you choose? I'm like, well, we need more light in this world. But I'm like, what's the light without the dark? It's a balance. So I'm turning on the hot waters. I'm like, we need both. And then it was like, well, cleanse yourself. So I just dip my head in the water. I shoot back up, and then I'm looking through my eyes, and again, I can't move my body. And so my eyes are just red, like red as fuck. And so I'm scared again because I'm like, I can't fucking move my body. And they was like, you've never fought before. You've always been this peace and love person, but you've never fought anybody. How do we know you'll fight? My friend came in, who I came on the trip with. He just like, he get on up in my face, and I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck? I come back in my body. They was like, now fight.
Oh.
And we fighting in the bathroom.
What? During your trip?
Yeah, like, but he's short, but he's strong. And I'm like, I can't beat this dude. You feel me? And they was like, you a king. They fight. And so I started whooping his ass. And like, on the real, like, I just started beating the brakes off of him. And I'm like, hold on. You feel me? Like, this not happening? Me. Yeah, but it was just like a hold on. I don't want to do that. And it was just these level and series of events that scared me. You know, I was terrified after that, you know, because left out, I started getting messages from the sun. There's a part of me that connects with Earth real deeply in the sun, because it was like you have to run by faith all your life now. Like, this is a changing moment for you, but you have to prove yourself if you fight for the light of things or for the dark of things, because the way you're living right now, it doesn't match up with who your spirit is. And so I was just like, well, I want to run by faith, you know, but I want to serve a higher purpose. I know this within myself. And so I'm looking at the sun, and it looked like these circles is coming out. And I'm like, you can't just look at the sun. So I do this, and I just start running. It's a 4-lane highway right across from where the maze was at. And I just run across the whole highway. I just run across that bitch. And
it's the trip sitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nobody was watching this.
No, I mean, I'm skipping parts, but the people I was with, I just beat the dude up.
Yeah.
So, and his sister, she tried to run me over because I just beat her brother up. And then,
why was he trying to fight you in the first place?
But it was a test. That's how I took it. Is these series of tests, you have to prove yourself. And so they just, at that point, he gone. We don't know. He took that shit. He's gone.
He was on acid too?
I was say, was he tripping?
Yeah.
What?
So that's what everything was just kind of like, whoa. No. He didn't. I had his still. He didn't take his yet. So for him to come in the bathroom, we were just scrapping like that. It was just like, what the fuck is up?
Right.
So I ran across the street, jumped over this. That fence was like as high as this building. I mean, not this building, this ceiling. Yeah. And I just jumped over it. But I don't remember it. But because my friend the next day was like, dude, do you take like some type of... Are you so no, he was like, are you a gymnast? Because I've never seen somebody just jump straight up like that. He was like, it was like unbelievable. And most shit happened, but it's too much to tell. But
dude, that sounds like a wild...
I was terrified. But then a lot of stuff
that was... How much did you take?
Just a tab.
A
tab. And I've done this plenty of times. So it's nothing like I'm about to be
supposed to happen.
Yeah, so for that, the messages, you know, to find out a lot about myself, and then it being verified, you know, because they told me who I was, like where I came from, you know, I'm a great descendant of a person. And then my mom giving me a book about this person. So it was a lot of stuff throughout my life. It was verified from that trip, that awakening, just by, all right, here's this book, read this. And I'm like, whoa, shit, they told me this. You know, I didn't know who that person was.
Who is they? That's the question.
Who was they? You feel me? And that's
no, I'm not even kidding. I'm serious.
Yeah.
The question is, the real question is that are you pulled back and communicating with your subconscious?
That's what
are you communicating with a spirit outside of this dimension?
And that's
you communicating with the Creator God?
I don't know. You know, because to me, I think it's myself, but then, you know, looking inward, you are your own creator. You know, I feel for myself.
Yeah.
You feel me? Going down my road, everything is looking within. So I think I have been a creator in some type of entity. You feel me? You know, but it's
Lots
just
of
finding
people
those
say
answers.
that, though. You're
Yeah.
not the only person to say that. Most people do say it about shrooms or
Mhm.
psilocybin, but the thing that happens is most people, when you take a dose over 3.5 grams, or what you can call a heroic dose, people will experience entities, for lack of a better term. It's like you're communicating with something. And you want to know a strange coincidence? I, 5 years or so, was really, really, really into lucid dreaming. So, lucid dreaming, this same entity that people experience in shrooms, I experienced the same way people describe it in a lucid dream, multiple. And I won't take heroic doses of LSD and stuff like that, or tabs or shrooms or anything, because I am horrifically afraid of the one time that I did that I described, where we were both like, whoa, this is too much, like this is not educational, like, you know what I mean? Like, but it never are you in danger. You're never in danger.
No,
Like,
you're not.
Don't want people to get the
You
idea
gotta
that
kind of
you're in
stop
danger.
yourself.
But it's
and
a
say,
mindset.
breathe. Yeah.
Yeah, but but
Yeah.
the lucid dream, that's like full dive. If you were to take 50 hits of acid, a lucid dream, waking up, what if anybody doesn't know what lucid dreaming is when you go to sleep, your subconscious goes into something called REM sleep, which is when your eyes move around rapidly behind your eyelids. That's dreaming. Well, the prefrontal cortex, which is the part that you, Zaire, or me, Devontae, sits in, you know what I mean? That part is shut off. That's why you don't normally remember your dreams. You don't normally think of those as experiences, even though your brain is going through them even more heightened than they do real life. So what happens is you can actually train yourself through small little ways to turn the prefrontal cortex back on and literally walk around like this in your dreams.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Ooh, I'm about to study
I've done it.
this.
You can the
I'm
way
living
I
it
can
up in
tell
my
I'm
dreams.
dreaming is I look at
Oh,
my
my
right
boyfriend.
hand and my fingers grow. And that's when I know, oh, I'm not awake. Because there's no physical reality to law, the dream world. So if you stare at a cup for too long, pretty soon the cup will start getting bigger until you look away and it's a normal cup again. Sound like a trip, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, but that's because that's the part of your brain your mind is merging when you trip. So imagine if you could just go there. Straight up. You're in your bed. I'm telling you, I could feel my body sleeping, feel myself breathing, and feel the position I'm in. I'm like, oh, my right arm is uncomfortable, but I'm in the dream walking. Like, I'm just like, my right arm is super uncomfortable right now.
Right.
I have done that once then, because I've been in a dream and be like, girl, why don't you just move? I have like talked to myself, like, what are you doing?
What you doing?
There are different stages.
Like, why are you there? I was like,
motherfucker.
literally like, what is your, like, I was really like scalding myself, like, just move.
There's different stages of lucid dreaming. So
That's
you
deep.
could be in a lower stage where normally you can perceive you're dreaming, but you have no control over the environment.
Yeah.
Everybody normally has that one all the time. Where when you wake up and you're like, where you're in a dream and you're like, I need to get up. And then next thing you know, you're awake and you're like, that wasn't real. I was in a dream. But you did get lucid for like that millisecond before. But high level of lucid dreaming is down to the point where I have an ex named Bianca I haven't seen in 6 or 7 years or something at this time when I had this dream. And I had a dream and I became lucid. I was upstairs in my grandparents' house. I looked down and I'm like, oh my God, I did my reality check and my hand grew. I'm like, whoa, everything in a dream is super HD, like tripping. So I'm like, wow, this carpet looks like grass. It's like so real. And I'm like, the key is to stay calm, because if you overreact, your heart rate raises and you wake up. So I'm like, take a deep breath, and did my little things. I can get into that, but I'm not going to get into that. I went down the stairs. And I'm like trying, and one of the things, there's no laws here again. I'm running down my grandparents' stairs, pop, 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 and the stairs just kept going, pop, 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 pop. Then I look down, instantly I'm on the bottom stair. There were no stairs there until I looked down, and my reality was like, oh yeah, I should build those. Then I walk into the other room, and my ex is on the couch. I'm like, Bianca, do you know you're a dream? You're like in my dream right now. She looks at me and gives me the most, you are so stupid. Like, look, like, you are an idiot. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, I'm serious. You're in my dream right now. Like, come here, get up. Can I touch you? And I'm like trying to touch her, and she's like, no. Like, she's like outraged by the fact that I found out. And I learned that this is one of the levels of lucid. Like, so I wasn't at the highest. The highest, they know you. You can ask them questions about yourself. But I walk out of that room and into the kitchen. And this is where I had the experience with that voice. And it was like, do you know where you are? Why are you right here? Have you been here for long? And it's just asking me these really vague questions. And it's coming from like...
The oracle.
It's like coming from like my head. Like,
and that's
I
what
can't
it
even
seemed
describe
like.
it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, I lived. It's my grandparents' house. And it's like, who is that in the room? Was she important to you? And I'm like, I don't know. Should I be talking to Bianca or something? Like, I'm like trying like mine while I'm in the dream, and then I just remember this shaking, and it started to earthquake in the house, and the floor fell apart, and that raised my heart rate.
So you
And I woke up.
It's crazy.
That by far is the craziest lucid dream I've ever had. I've never been able to reach out to a dream NPC and be like, hey, do you know you're a dream? Normally I fuck it up before that. I wake up but that was crazy. I've never gotten to a point where people will be able to tell me about me. I've heard people that are better at it than me tell stories of them going up to their mom and asking what they feel about that person. So that NPC in your dream is really what you think about that person. Because they can't actually be there.
Yeah.
So like I have certain characters in my dreams that only acts in certain ways. Like one of my friends, AJ Cambert, only talks in this voice in my dreams. Because that's just how I see him. So whenever I like see him in a dream, he's talking weird and just being crazy.
His movie.
And I just think that's so weird that your mind has its own reality on the inside. So I think what you're experiencing when you're dealing with those realities, I feel like you're in between three realities. I feel like that's the higher plane, your plane, and the reality plane you were introduced. You were interacting with all at once, and you're just going in between them, and you're just like, what
the fuck
is going on?
And that's actually what happens majority of the time I trip. I talk to future self, past self, and present. And I'm like, it's Z, Jair, and Zaire. You know, Z is my past self, Zaire is this self, and Jair is my older. But then I do feel like it's a fourth, because there's
that higher plane that just knows
it just
everything.
sprinkles, but it just sprinkles when it this is a message for you, but then it's like I can't just tap in.
You can't just ask
to. Yeah, it taps in when it wants to tap in.
You gotta stay connected to that.
Yeah.
I learned that this summer at the Liz
Yeah.
concert. You gotta stay connected to that. You know, you stay connected to that. That's all the answers
Mm-hmm.
you ever need. Well, this is from my experience, but yeah.
Yeah. So what was one of yours?
I really don't have any like y'all for. I don't know, man. I don't know, but
I'm tripping, bro. I'm trying to.
I done had about I tripped about 15 times, but my favorite one's probably last summer at the Wiz Khalifa concert. Went there, tripped around a lot of people, had a good time, and I closed my eyes.
That's what I'm scared of.
And around a lot of people, I loved it. It was so great.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I've done it once.
Yeah, it was great. But I closed my eyes. I was sitting there, and then like everybody said, you hear that voice, and it just kept on telling me, keep going. You're doing what you need to do. You're protected. And as I closed my eyes even more, I felt I was protected. I don't know. I felt like I was like a Dragon Ball. Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, like that, like that thing. And I was being protected. Though. I was like that little ball in the middle of it. I was being protected. And then I woke up. And I woke up, well, whatever happened. And then I went back and tuned in the concert, had a good time. That was probably my biggest,
It was just like this little drawback moment, though.
Yeah. But more so, I'm on.
What is it? The Twilight Zone, and then you come back. Whoa.
That's how I was, because I'm more so just living the moment when I'm on acid shrooms on it. I'm just kind of just kicking it, fun, smoking kush, and just, doing shit.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Yeah, I don't got nothing too like.
Yeah,
Yours was by far the best.
it was
crazy.
That took me a while to learn it.
I'm like, wait, you was tripping? I would have passed out.
I was terrified.
Yeah,
I ended up in the hospital.
House of Mirrors.
Because my friends, they left me. They was like, oh, no, he gone. And, they was like, I woke up in the hospital and everything. They was just like, what did you take? I got arrested. It was a lot.
Oh, man.
But it was a lot of testing.
You're a tough guy, man. It takes a tough person to get through that. Because other people would have lost their ever-loving shit.
Oh, I know.
No, they be lost right now. They be lost now, afterwards,
That's
it took me a long
worst
time to
nightmare.
get up.
Did you know
after
that's
that.
why I don't go outside when I trip very often?
Huh?
I don't go outside very often unless I'm in a designated tripping outside area like ledges or something. I don't like going outside. People are like, "Hey man, let's go for a walk." Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Because
it's
I'm
ter-
afraid of
scares
them
me.
doing
Yeah.
something that I have to try, and I always feel like I'm a protector when I'm tripping every time, because I'm always the person who, no matter how high we are, I'm there. People, like I told you, my friend
That's
was
me.
gone, I'm there. That every time I trip and somebody's crying, they're going crazy, something, we do anything, I'm there. I have to fix it. I'm always the person to protect and to repair everything. So whenever I go out with people and we're tripping, or we're tripping in my house, I feel safe. Because I'm like, if you start tripping out and start running around the house and flipping
Great.
over, all I got to do is just be like, oh, and just rub your back. And ain't nobody here to see us. It's no problem.
Yeah, just breathe.
But if we are out in public and somebody starts running down the street or
Yeah.
something, I'm not about to chase them. I'm going to go
Yeah.
back home.
Like
And I'm going
that.
to feel like, shit.
He said, I'm going home.
You know what I mean? And then I'm going to be worried, and it's going to cause me to have a horrible
Oh, we tattoo
experience.
twins.
You know?
My yin yang Saturn.
Yeah.
Hey.
Actually, all three of us.
Ain't that crazy?
Oh,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at there. Oh.
Oh, see, everything's meant, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Cancer,
life.
It red for some reason.
You said what?
I knew he was with cancer for some reason. Something told me you were
Your
a
sister
Cancer.
sign.
How do you even know I'm a Cancer right now? Did I say that?
Before
Oh.
you even said it when you came in, I was
Oh.
like,
Is she? I was saying, she
I
the
said
wrong.
that's deep. But yeah. No, but you know what you just said. I know it's time to go. But I had that protective thing. Like the last time I tripped with the time before last, I tripped with somebody. They like had an experience, and I'm like, dang. Within my trip, I had to like protect. It's like they died. They had some type of rebirth. Like it was
in
deep.
front of you.
Yeah,
And you're like,
oh, it's
The whole
I
time.
wouldn't wish that on nobody. Like he literally died. Like no, his like he didn't live, there, but
Yeah.
he died, and I'm like pouring water on him. Like oh my god, and I'm thinking in my mind like, who do I call? I can't call the police. We high as hell. I can't. I just like
Yeah,
all
you
this
breaking it
going-
down.
and that's hard on your
Man.
trip, man.
Yeah.
That's
Eat sugar,
hard
though,
on
next
your
time.
trip.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. This next
It's
time.
good to
Let
know.
you know.
That's the
So
whole
you know.
thing is now, I'm
Let everybody
like-
know.
that's
Sugar,
why I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not
yeah,
dealing
it's
with-
antidote for
So
it.
I'm pouring water on him, and he finally come, cause it was like he was dead, like literally, boom, and he woke up and he started praying to Allah, and he kept saying, "Get these demons out of me, get these demons out of me, Allah Akbar, Allah," like just praying.
Oh my God, bad trip. Oh, you
Yeah.
the way you're describing it, I would have been like,
Listen, yeah,
I would just sat there like, come
It
on.
was so deep. He
God.
in the back. Because, like, another thing, because my trips be my intuition. It's always my intuition. It's so heightened. So I'm sitting on the couch listening to Marvin Gaye. I'm kind of jamming out.
In your own world.
And then I'm like, okay, this bathroom water been running for a long time. And then some said, get up and go to
Go
the
check
bathroom.
on this
Yeah,
man.
he on the floor like. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm thinking like he didn't
Enough
overdose,
of it.
knowing in
got
my
the
mind.
tissue?
Yeah. Like pouring water out the
Yeah.
sink. And then he come to like, and he come up like he was literally dead, and then like start praying, and then like get these demons out of me.
that's a bad
Blah
trip
blah
for
blah.
him.
Yeah, bad. Like he was like, I'll never do this again. Like,
Oh.
but I'm like, what you get from that? Because like what I got was that you were literally saying that you need to get your shit together. Like this, you came out of this was like, release me from these demons. I'm like repeating to him what he was saying. At this point, I think I was like tripped out. Like I wasn't even high no more.
Yeah, because you
It-
like, I
I
gotta
was-
save you. This shit, you blew
Yeah.
my high.
Survival mode. That's when you
blew
go into
my
another
trip.
type of mode.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was completely like he like say this like, do I call the police? All this, and I'm like repeating to him like what you were going through, what you were saying. I'm like, I literally think this is telling you that you need to kill these ways that you have and subscribe to what it is you know is right. Like you really need to take a lesson out of this because it's deep. I'm like I'm like look at it from my perspective. I just watched you die. Like I literally thought you were dead.
Yeah.
Like so, like think about that. Like I watched, watching somebody. I'm literally walk. It was a time went past, but the shroom time be off. So
Yeah.
Ain't no,
Oh,
there's no
that's
time.
true.
No
yeah.
shrooms.
So for me,
It's
it
20
felt
o'clock.
like a whole 30 minutes to an hour go past. I'm pacing back and forth trying to figure out what to do with this body. Like I'm going through like a whole.
She like,
His body on the floor. I might have to dispose.
I had to be real. We was doing shrooms. You just got to be real at that point.
And I was like, I came to that conclusion
Yeah.
too. I'm like, because I was like, let me call his best friend. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to have to call the police.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me try this water. Someone said, get the cold water. And he came too, but I came to that conclusion. I'm like, you know what, fuck, I'm gonna have to call him. This is what it was because he's dead. You know, I didn't do it. I'm like going through this whole thing. Yep. Then I'm like, Sade, just breathe. He's not dead. And I went through this whole thing. Y'all tripping. Boom. And then I'm like, bruh, you just tripped me out. Like I was like, you just fucked me up. I just watched somebody die. It had really messed me up. And then, like, you came back to life. I'm, like, repeating what you said. I'm like, don't take this as, I'm not doing it no more. Learn the lesson. Because, like, this was something, this was telling you something. And it was deep.
You learned this well.
I feel like a person has to prepare.
You learned this well.
A person needs to prepare for a trip.
Me too.
Oh, you do.
When it comes to it, don't, first of all, before you do something
make sure
like
your energy right.
That's basically what I'm about to say. But make sure that the situations that are going on in and around your life at that moment are clear. So you don't have any crazy obligations next week.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So many bad trips because they got to go somewhere tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
They stressed out about it.
And then they just can't let it go. The whole trip just, what if I gotta wake up? No, I did this.
That's why I told you need a whole day and the next day.
Yeah.
You need 2 open days
so
at least.
as
Minimum.
long as
Sleep all day.
You clear your environment around you. You do and you control your control your actual like sitting place. So know where you're gonna be. Know that you're safe. That your family or friends is not gonna come for you during it. Okay, that's me. And also make sure that you got good stuff. You're not using anything that's got light lacing or lining or anything.
Yeah.
That's why I do shrooms.
Yep.
Acid is a gamble.
Yeah, I can't. That's why I refuse to do it.
Yeah.
And have your trip plans out what you're gonna do. That's the best advice I can give.
Plan your trips out because your mind is not to the point to choose. You're very indecisive. Should we do this? Should I do this? If you're gonna do anything, just exist. If you're at that point, but plan it out beforehand. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go here. So then you're conscious, you're the subconscious. You're just like, all right, I'm gonna go here.
Right, it can lead.
So you'll lead into it.
That's what I'm telling you too. You write down the time because you lose time in a sense.
You
so
do.
like if you write down somewhere,
6 hours will go by.
Yeah, like, 2 minutes, and when you be like, damn, it's already. Or sometimes I'll be like, oh, it's only 1 o'clock.
And then you look again, it's 6.
That's why I tell people when you do that shit, just make sure you got a whole weekend off. Like how we went to Myrtle Beach, we wasn't rushing, wasn't It was like hey, when the fry is done, it's done. And then next day we kick it, and then you go do your priorities.
And then I feel like if you haven't done it, you should be in the house.
First time should always be in the house.
Like be in house, clean up your space.
Clean.
Yeah, like sage.
I can't tell you how my just space being dirty.
Oh, I hate it. That's how I was in my car. I was like, oh my God, I need to clean this whole car up. Like,
it's alive.
Yes, and do it just like, ugh. Like I need to wipe it.
I was tripping one time when I drove to my cousin's house, or her dude house. And it was like I saw everything. I'm like, this house is fucking disgusting. And I have been here many times in the same state, but this time I'm like looking at the wall. I'm like, and I'm in the house like this.
I know that's how you feel like, oh.
And then I felt their energy too, and their energy was terrible. So I'm at like Miss Cleo, me too. I'm like Miss Cleo at this table. I'm like, look. All y'all need to get y'all. I'm really start going because I felt it. Like something in me was impulsively like, look, the energy in this house is terrible. Everybody in this house is at the point to where they need to really try to find their purpose and stick to who they are. I'm like going in and like a week later she called me. She's like, everything you said at that table was true. I don't really remember what the fuck I was saying because I was
went in real quick.
But she was like, I really took heed of that, and I was like, okay, but that's the day I felt that dirt. It snowed really bad. It's the last time it snowed really bad was that day. I left, drove through that blizzard because it was so dirty in here. Like, that's how bad it was for me. I was like,
I left too. I'm like, I'm going to see y'all.
Yeah, I couldn't. I never saw it. So I was just like, like you said, it felt like it was alive.
It was vibrating like, the germs is multiplying before my very eyes.
Coronavirus was in
I used to this coronavirus.
Shut him out. No.
We have been here for hours, people.
Yeah, shout out
This
to
is the longest podcast we've done.
Man.
Hey, record. Yeah,
Time
is
to
it?
go.
we had 3 hours.
Really?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hell
It's a
no.
Joe Rogan.
It's like,
Lots of content in this podcast.
Yep,
Shit.
all right.
Make like 1,000
Shut
clips
my
out of this.
ass.
Okay, so You heard that buzzing noise? Okay, went away. So to end off this wonderful podcast, is there anything y'all want to let people know? Social medias, promotion. This time y'all say y'all things. Free speech. Man, what is that?
We are okay. Let me see. You can follow me at Wavy Adrenaline on Instagram, or that's pretty much my only handle right now.
At Mixed Feelings 216 on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I have a band and we are pretty dope. And God willing, we will be performing at Station Hope, which is ran by Cleveland Public Theater. It's a festival June 27th, and Waterloo Art Festival as well. But so pray that this leaves so that we can continue to perform. And yeah, my name is Sade Renee. No, Sade Young on Facebook if you want to follow me personally. That's it. That's all. Stay proud, stay beautiful, stay loving. Bye-bye.
What about you, Jay?
I play guitar. If you want to hear some good music sometimes or see some art, follow my Instagram, just Josh it. And then my SoundCloud's Josh Mick 216.
Dope.
Oh,
dope.
he plays guitar. I'm going to steal him.
I'm about to
You
say,
all good, bro?
I'm going to steal him.
Yeah. Follow me, freedom_capture. The Dreamer Circle is my new show I'm starting. It will be out May 31st, which is my birthday. I will be interviewing. If y'all want to interview, if you have a talent, skill, hobby, etc., you feel me, that you would like to show to the world, let me know. So shoot me a DM. Yeah.
Facts. Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming on the show today. We appreciate you guys as always. Got to come back though again, have another great discussion. Probably next time be tripped out a little, you know what I'm saying? Wink, wink, hint, hint. That'd be a great show. It'd be a 6-hour long show.
Even though it would be a
that's
lot
all
of
day.
pauses.
Yeah, it's cool.
I know we're going to have to start vlogging.
Yeah,
Do some vlogging outside.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let everybody just start recording. We just
For
be
real.
outside.
We get to it. Well then, ladies and boys, girls, thank you for watching or listening to Lavish Journey podcast, where we create, inspire, and we spread greatness.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
We probably can't post a picture because the camera cut off already. Let's try it anyway, just in case. All right.